60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that would respect it. Oh, actually, if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Take it to the house.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My heart, dog. Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
But they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
One, two, three. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
A very pleasant good morning and welcome in halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Live in studio today, Phil Elson next to my partner Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in the producer's chair. For the next 3 hours, lots of Arkansas football, basketball. We'll be talking with Bob Holt. We'll be talking with Brett Dolan and lots of time for your calls and texts as well. Good morning, Matt, to you. Happy Thursday.
Good morning.
Nice to be standing next to you. We're kind of getting into that rhythm right now. I think we'll be breathing each other's air a little bit more over these next few months.
Happy Thursday, and man, football. There's going to be some big games this weekend. I know everybody's getting pumped up for the Arkansas-Texas game, but there's a lot of good football that's going to be played over the weekend.
Right, and not just in college, where maybe
Chiefs Bills. I mean, that's as big as it gets right there.
Oh, I mean, the word rivalry's gotten probably overused. This week. I mean, and I don't. That's not in no judgment of what this game on Saturday at Razorback Stadium is. It's just every time it's brought up, the word rivalry gets thrown around. First time you played as a conference opponent for however long, so you can make sense of this. You talk about some rivalries in the NFL that you got this weekend as well, and real ones that involve hatred, involve teams that play each other twice a year. You know what that's like when you play somebody twice a year. You don't get a chance to do that in football. Not very often. I think it's happened, 4 or 5 times? Basketball, maybe you play an opponent, in the SEC a couple of times, 2 or 3, find them in the league tournament. Baseball's a whole different thing. When it comes to, really hating your opponents on the other side, nothing says that than playing somebody twice, or maybe even in some cases 3 times. Which happens in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, and then they got tape on you, but it's it's kind of like the Ravens and the Bengals last week. It was just an epic battle. I think you could see some of those games even tonight with Washington and the Eagles.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Packers, Bears. I mean, oh my goodness, Ravens, Steelers. What a big time game right there.
I'm excited for that one because headed to Los Angeles with the women's basketball team tomorrow morning. We got a 5:30 bus. We got like a 7:00 flight. And be on Pacific time, which, I lived in California for about a year before moving to Arkansas. I spent most of the 2000 year in Stockton, California. That's where the University of Pacific is located, which
Michael Olukakandi.
That's right. John Calipari, by the way, just found out yesterday that is Arkansas's next opponent Monday. He had a post-game press conference that was really entertaining.
They're the Tigers?
They are the Tigers. UOP, they go by in Stockton. But the thing that was the most, that to me, at least once the minor league baseball season was over, because that's what I was there for, the thing that was the most difficult thing to get used to, which I guess I was fine the first time I experienced it, and I'll get it this next Sunday, NFL, 9 in the morning. All the 1 o'clock where I grew up, 12 o'clock here, 9 in the morning for some of those games. Can't wait. Get a chance to do that, then I'll do the basketball game, and I won't even have to leave the hotel room for any of the football. I'll be hosting pregame from the hotel on Saturday.
Service, yeah.
I'll be watching Steelers Ravens from the hotel Sunday.
You are an LA guy.
I guess I am. You guys told me I was yesterday. You told me.
Coach Z, that was a couple days ago, yeah.
For the time I lived out there. And I said, I lived in California for 11 months. Stockton is not Los Angeles. It's not anything except Stockton. You can separate the state pretty much. Central Valley and the coast, way different. LA felt weird. That's the thing. It's like, it just felt, I don't know. Maybe it was the smog. I don't like to be able to see the air that I'm breathing. That was a major thing for me when I was there. It just didn't smell right. The oxygen wasn't quite oxygenated enough. Well, you got a basketball win last night. I think this team's going to be good defensively. I do have questions about how where can they go offensively, and what's going to happen in the front court for a team that, I think two of the guys that are supposed to be your best in the front court are just hurt, or when they do, and I don't know when the ankle injury exactly occurred, but it sounds like it was pretty bad, and came back a little late from it, and is just, I don't even think they expected him to play yesterday. He gets out for 5 minutes, and Cal basically said post-game that they told him to dress out. He wasn't even going to dress out. And then Brazil, I know maybe it's a minor ankle injury, one of those things that looks awful when you see it, but isn't really that bad. But it still may be the kind of thing that takes a little time to recover from, and it feels a little like more of the same with Brazil, doesn't it? I mean, it's been a couple years. It's been the same story. I hope that it doesn't happen again this year, where it's not, it's one injury, it's another injury, and it ends up nagging all year long.
Yeah, you see it. You see that happen in sports. We had a safety, Catalan, that was at Arkansas for a couple years and could never really get healthy, but you knew his potential. I think Brazil, I think he can be a stud, man. I really do. You'd like to see him get healthy, but he's such a mismatch out there, and just keep learning. Like you said, you got to be able to play defense. That's the one thing he had a couple blocks, but he just keep maturing. And then we got the three guards. I mean, you got a guy that's been there before, a veteran, and then you got one of the best freshmen in the country. So, I mean, they're gonna have some dudes.
I think they do have some dudes. I think Big Z is one of the dudes, and it's good to see someone respond when he was told he's going to go to the bench, because someone was out playing him in the front court. That's why Brazil started, and I don't know if they'd have won without without him raining it from outside. It's just a little bit rare, wouldn't it be? Maybe not necessarily for someone of that size to score 18 points on three-pointers, but that there were no twos involved in the game for Z. Cal's even said it. I mean, they're going to need maybe 5 to 6 three-point attempts from him per game. And remember the game against Lipscomb, they were able to get it to him in the post. It's going to be a little different once you're playing against teams that have other real big men too.
Yeah, and one of the things Stan Van Gundy said is, if they don't believe that you're going to shoot a three-point shot, then they don't have to close out on you, and then it's hard to drive by them. And so when you look at that, and if we can have floor spacing and be able to move the ball, I like our guards one-on-one matchups to get by their guy. But man, that's big time shooting right there.
Oh, no kidding. 7-2, hit 6 threes on 7 attempts, 19 points in 22 and a half minutes. And in a game where
you got to have a threat. You got to be. It's just the way. It's like being a running back in the NFL. You could, in the 80s, you could have been a running back, and you don't have to necessarily be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Now running backs have to be able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Same thing. You got to be able to shoot. You got to be a threat. There has to be a couple guys out there that if you leave them open, that they'll make you pay.
It wasn't very pretty watching in the first half, but I can appreciate that in the month of November, and maybe really it's going to be for a couple of months. Cal told you to expect this. I think you all expected it. Maybe you didn't, though. Maybe there was a part of me that just expects, maybe because it's John Calipari out there and it's a different level of talent than you're used to, I guess, that they're just going to run away with every game. But it's choppy right now. And how can you win when offensively you're choppy? Is to play good defense. They played good defense, played great defense, especially in the second half yesterday. So some things to work on for certain. Players that need to heal up, get a little extra rest, and you're probably going to have to lean a little bit on your freshman forwards, I think, as you continue throughout this homestand, because right now, dude just isn't right. I don't know if it's got to be able to put your feet up and use all of the technology they got in the training room, because he wasn't even going to dress out yesterday. Thero's great. Z is going to give you a lot of minutes. I do worry about Brazile, because there is just a tendency, and it's not his fault. It's not like you're going out and trying to do this. There is a tendency of just something always happens. A sprain of a knee, a sprain of an ankle, and it is a team that is maybe an injury away from faltering a little bit. That's what happens when you're not looking for quite as much depth as potentially a team that may end up dealing with injuries could need.
I mean, your stars got to show up, and I mean, the guys you're paying the money to, they gotta show up and contribute.
All right, here's what we got. It is Brett Dolan with us, hour number 3. Brett's got a lot going on. He's got meetings with 4 or 5 different coaches, because he's on so many different calls over the next few days, which also includes the Texas-Arkansas game at Razorback Stadium on Touchdown Radio this Saturday. He'll be next to Gino Torretta. We'll be talking with Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette. Of course, he was at yesterday's game at Bud Walton Arena, and lots of times for your calls and texts, which includes this next segment. Call us, text us, 877-377-6963. We'll be right back after this.
This is halftime. Don't miss Hog Reaction after every football game. Brought to you by Bud Light. Also presented by Black Hills Energy.
Matt, is it that simple? Is it just they got to get better players, or do you see some coaching issues too?
We have some talent on this team, that's for sure. It was just something that happened early where we got a 4th down stop, and then all of a sudden they get a turnover touchdown, and it just kind of ballooned in the second quarter.
Only on ESPN 95.3.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those without boards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The best things never change, they just get better. Like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Choose from juicy charbroiled double cheeseburgers, melty hot ham and cheeses, or hand-breaded chicken tender wraps. 2 full-size favorites plus fries and a drink, all just $6.99. There's no skimping in this bag. No junior burgers or tiny nuggies, just full-size goodness for big-time value. The $6.99 Original Bag, only at Hardee's. These items only, tax not included. Price and participation may vary.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
This holiday season, consider contacting Arkansas Family Alliance to help children in your area have the Christmas they deserve. To give, please contact Arkansas Family Alliance to pick up a wish list, crafted for each child to experience the joy we have all felt unwrapping the gifts we waited all year long for on Christmas morning. Gifts can be dropped off at Harvest Time Church in Fort Smith on Monday, December 9th through Wednesday, December 11th from 10 to 4. Volunteers and donations are needed. No child should go without a special Christmas. Contact Arkansas Family Alliance to learn more and spread the Christmas cheer this season.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, 9700 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You guys have really affordable suit and tuxedo rentals that I think people need to consider.
Mercy Ball and holiday events that a lot of guys need tuxedos to rent. So come to Rainwaters, you get to try it on immediately, and you know that it fits, and we'll take care of you.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gale and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwaters men's clothing and tuxedo rental, because it's fun to look good.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's no easy way out. It takes me just to impress me. I need some time in the sunshine. I've got to slow it right down. It takes me just to impress me.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
You know, I opted into the to the women's basketball trip for UCLA. Because it's not a commercial flight. I'm going to go the same route now that like Bronny James is going.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to play any road games in the G League. Won't play on the road in the G League. And from what I gathered from reading it is because they singled out United Airlines. Apparently they don't want him to be traveling commercial. And in the G League, you're flying commercial. You don't get those primo charter flights that they get in the NBA, or maybe that he got at USC too.
You know, the NFL, you have practice squad players, and I know you got the two-way contract. I wonder how long you can do that, because I think 3 or 4 years is as long as you can be on the practice squad. Is there a rule in the G League, like if you can just do it for?
I don't know. My understanding is that he's on a two-way deal, so he can go back and forth. I don't know. How many times if it's a matter that you can do that, how many times in a year, or if you get certain amount of option years like they do in baseball. But does that just mean that when he's not playing with the South Bay team and they're on the road somewhere, that he's with the Lakers somewhere, with dad and the big team somewhere in order to develop somehow? Because I don't know. It feels to me that part of this has to be about maybe developing your second round pick.
Well, he needs to get reps wherever you can get him the most reps, and I would kind of put it like when MJ went over to play for the Barons, and I think it was Tim Wakefield, or it was the old Francone. He was like
Francone, Tito Francone.
Well, he was like MJ needs 1,000 at bats. Same thing with Bronny. Like, he needs to get 1,000 game minutes a shot. Like, he needs to get a lot of reps because he's still so raw.
What he needs is for dad to do what MJ did for the AA team in Birmingham. Which is buy them a whole new mode of transportation. Michael Jordan paid for a whole new bus for that team. He didn't fly them all over the Southern League, but he certainly paid for a brand new mode of transportation. I think LeBron's got enough money maybe to spend on a private jet for the South Bay team.
1.5 mil is what he goes. That's his regimen. That's to keep his body in shape. That's what Bronny's got it going on.
Oh, man. He's going to end up being a footnote. He's a footnote. He's Tommy Aaron. Although I don't know, did Tommy and Hank ever play together on the Braves? I think they did. Yeah.
What about Jim and Paul Abbott? Were they?
Well, I don't even know. Did Jim Abbott, the pitcher.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he had a brother that did.
I thought
play.
he had. I thought both. I thought they were
See,
brothers.
that would be the same idea.
The Abbotts.
It would
Yeah.
be the exact same idea. Go look up and see the all-time record of brothers who hit the most home runs in Major League history. It's Hank Aaron and Tommy Aaron, and Tommy hit like 13. That's going to be LeBron and Bronny. It's going to be the all-time record for father-son scoring, and it's going to be LeBron with 80 million and Bronny with 12.
You know, if it wasn't his pops, would he still probably be at USC? You know, would he have got drafted in the in the second round last year? Probably not. So I mean, it's kind of he's kind of on his own journey. He's got his own path.
I think would he even made it to USC with that name, without the name. Maybe that's the probably so.
Yeah, he's an athlete. He just we talk about this, Phil, and I've been around NBA guys, and when you're around NBA guys, they look like aliens. You know, they don't look like they're a normal dude, and you know they're pterodactyls. You're built just a little bit different, and
it's got to suck for them on
Baby
these commercial
Goat
flights too.
Baby Goat's he's not built like that.
But how do you even stuff these guys into the commercial seats? Like that's just at 6'6", Matt. That's just not even comfortable for you. Some of these guys are 7 foot.
Chasing the dream, man. They're still trying. They're like your boy Crash Davis. They just on to the next.
And some days they get woolly. You know, and to travel when you fly on these flights that are designed for basketball teams, you have seats with a lot more leg room than anybody of my height needs. I mean, there's leg room for 7-footers. You don't have anything like that in heck. They've been shrinking the room that we have on the commercial flights. So maybe, you know, now they're getting isn't the WNBA doing commercial flights for the first or charter flights for the first time in some cases? Yeah, same idea. That's the major league though. I can understand the idea. Like AAA baseball teams, they fly commercial. You know, they're normal sized human beings in a lot of cases, but they do have to take the first flight of the morning. That's in the rule. You got to take the 5:30 flight a.m. after you played a game that started at 7 the night before. Fun. All sorts of fun. Yeah, Brandon, Bronny could just use my ESPN Arkansas private jet. I don't think we have any official. Yeah, we got a couple. We've got some vehicles. I could take the ESPN Arkansas family truckster on a road trip somewhere. Hopefully the tires have been changed out. They're not bald tires anymore. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts when you want to get in with us here. Chris wants, I am hosting the football pregame show from Los Angeles Saturday morning. That'll be, we're going on the air at like 8 o'clock, so 6 o'clock in the morning.
That'll be fun.
Pacific time.
Your body clock, you know, when you go a couple time zones, do you kind of just revert back and kind of almost know what time it is in Arkansas, or do you actually adjust over?
I'll have to report back when we get back when I get back Monday. I haven't done that, like the trip east to west very much, because when I lived in California, I drove it, and then I lived there for 11 months. I got used to the body clock, got pretty used to it. I didn't do any flying back and forth. But hey, let me just put it this way. So I'm not on the show on Friday because I got to be up in the air with the team. Our game on Sunday at UCLA is 4 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock our time, and then we fly back. We get our own private jet, red eye. Not going to make it to the airfield until probably like 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning. I will try my absolute best to be lucid and positive and everything for Monday. But I'm going to put this out to the listeners right now. I'm going to need you guys to make some calls after
Monday.
No matter what happens on Saturday, I personally will need your help.
There'll be this stuff writes itself, but it's going to be a great week of college football. It's going to be a great week in the NFL. I mean, the slate of games. I know we got a couple more hours. We'll talk a little bit about it tomorrow as well. But man, there's going to be plenty. There'll be plenty of action to talk about on Monday.
Yes, there will. We got a text in from Joel, wants to know about how I feel about Malik Thomas, who is one of the big signees that men's basketball got yesterday. Darius Acuff was the other from Detroit. Thomas is from Pittsburgh. So we want to know if I had any thoughts on a basketball player out of Pittsburgh. I guess he played, I think it's Lincoln Park is where he's from. Did I hear somebody mention something about the Pittsburgh to Arkansas pipeline now because Thero is also from not in the city, but right around it. I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. Let's have a let's all get Steelers fans here because I know those kids are going to end up rooting for the Steelers. Let's just have a little pocket of burgers up here in Northwest Arkansas that love the Razorbacks and actually play for the Razorbacks too.
Does Cal have an advantage there since he's kind of was he a Pittsburgh guy or a Pennsylvania guy?
No, he's from there too.
Yeah,
I think he's
all
right. Does he have an edge with the kids from Pittsburgh, or does he just have an edge because he's
that's just something else that they have in common, I guess. But
Don
I don't know how much it
Calipari.
matters.
That's right. Don Calipari. He has the edge over almost anyone else because he's Don Calipari. I feel like Malik Thomas would have looked at him no matter what and would have considered him no matter what. It's his finalists were UConn, Pitt, and Arkansas. Pitt is just like, okay, I know you're not going there. I'm a fan. I know you're not going there. UConn and Arkansas, absolutely. I don't think it's a matter of where he's from. I think it's much more of who the coach is and where Malik thinks that Don Calipari can get him.
You had DeJuan Blair a few years back, and you had a little guard on that team. I mean, it's like Pitt. Every couple years, they're kind of good, but then, and he's a local kid, so you never know.
Well, it's also not like a big-time basketball city. That's the thing about this, and Cal comes from basketball around the city of Pittsburgh, but it's really just around the state, I think, more than anything else. These are big-time recruits, no matter where it is they're from. I mean, but they also look like they play about the same position. I think there must be some more in the offing because, I don't. You're not going to get.
What are they? Swings? Are they threes?
6'2", 6'4".
Oh, okay. So yeah,
6'2" and 6'4".
They're ones and twos.
Backcourt guys.
Yeah,
that's right. Maybe a little room to grow, but
that's right. They could have a growth spurt. I mean, not
going to be like a 7-player incoming class, but I'd expect at least another one. I would just expect another one. 877-377-6963. Who we got there? C-Unit?
Got Brian.
Brian. Hey, Brian. Good to hear from you, man. What's going on? What are you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Just hanging out. What's new?
I got a question for Matt. And since he's a former great quarterback in Arkansas, so, I was just wondering, since Green transferred from Boise to Arkansas, and, Boise's going to be in the playoffs, if you're in his situation, do you think, I know that he's enjoying his time at Arkansas, but think there might be a little regret that he left Boise to come to Arkansas? I mean, he would have went to the NFL going from Boise anyways. I mean, Arkansas not going to get in there. He would have got there anyways. I'm just curious what you would think if you were in his situation. I'll just hang up and listen to you guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting if Boise does kind of go on a run. I think you want to test your skills against the best quality competition that you can, and the SEC's the best. And so in his relationship with Coach Petrino, I think that had something to do with it because didn't he recruited him to SMS? So there's so much I do. I think it's just that prior relationship, and that goes a long ways in when kids make their decisions and stuff. But yeah, I bet he has some buddies on the Boise State team. I joked it like, hey man, why he needs to text Yanti and say, come on man, you got another year left. Let's come do it in the SEC.
Yeah, I think somebody like Green or someone like Jaquindon Jackson, when they're in the portal or thinking of going in the portal and thinking about the options that can be out there, the kids that are from Texas, and you see that the Longhorns are on the schedule, I do think that that's at least in the back of their mind, some consideration about playing against that logo.
Because they overlooked you. It's a little chip on your shoulder. I think they brought it up the Texas A&M matchup about how that was another one.
So it's personal decisions and everything. I mean, you can try to get into somebody's mind about if they regret making the decision about leaving one place to go to the other. Sometimes the grass is greener, sometimes it's not, but it's a logical decision that made sense for Green to give it a shot at the highest level of college football. And it's not like he has failed. I mean, let's just throw this out there. It's not like he has failed, and it's also not like he's going to be going into the draft this next year. At least that's my expectation.
That's our QB1 next year. I don't know what the NIL is going to be. How they're going to divvy it up, but that's your QB1. That's another year. I mean, you're about to get a bowl practice. You're going to get spring ball. You're going to be in the meeting rooms with Bobby Petrino and working your craft. I mean, that's exactly what he needs.
877-377-6963. When you want to get with us, don't forget about the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Balm. Got everything you need for Razorback fans. Anything you need. Tailgating, game day, man cave, dorm room stuff. You won't find anything more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt are local. They're family alumni, and they've owned and operated the Stadium Shop from the very start. 479-STADIUM to call them. Shoponrazorback.com online, or you can just stop by the Stadium Shop on Razorback next to Balm. Make sure they know ESPN Arkansas sent you. Stay with us. Halftime back right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, and we're inside of Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. I'm with my guy, Josefa. Today, it was the French toast turkey melt, but other daily specials every single day.
Yeah, Ty, we just kind of want everybody to know that we're not just sandwiches around here. We have all kinds of different specials. There's always something different right here at Lily's Sandwich Shop.
Award-winning Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Don't believe me? Talk to Lily.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running best of the best independent body shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Hey, this is Dr. Cole Johnson at River Valley Smile Center. You hear my partner, Dr. Charles Liggett, at 12:15 on Halftime every Monday. Dr. Liggett and I have worked at River Valley Smile Center together for 11 years now. Like the Hogs, we have a great team. Do you have a unique dental procedure, a complex dental problem, or are you just nervous about dental work? Come see me for sedation dentistry, implants, implant-supported dentures, as well as cosmetic dentistry. We are located at 8309 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith at the River Valley Smile Center. Check us out online at rivervalleysmiles.com or call 479-646-0706.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely. And keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Joel had texted in. We had a call from Brian a moment ago. Did you notice? He never said Texas. Those 5 letters might have appeared in the sentences that spewed out of his mouth, but they were never in order to spell Texas. I think that may be a truly unicorn-like phone call from Brian in Ozark over the last few years. Congratulations, Brian. That's called growth.
Man, you starting to get a little fired up. Are you nervous at all? How do you think the Razorbacks are going to play? I mean, this Texas team is just as talented, Phil, from what my eyes tell me. Texas is every bit as good as Ole Miss. I think they're better than LSU. I think they're better than Tennessee. You just talk about their talent, the way they play. We're going to have to play an A+ type of game.
I think it's going to be difficult to make viewers uncomfortable. I mean, they have tackles that are going in the first round this year or in a few months next year.
They got that kid from Alabama that transferred in.
It's just a tough combination when there's receivers that are talented and find ways to get open, find ways to get past the defense or past your secondary. Couple that with already a pass rush that has struggled and tackles that don't really allow their quarterback to get hurt very often. Plus a team that can run the ball. I expect Arkansas to go out and play really well, but that's also a little bit independent of who it is that's on the other side of the line of scrimmage, and it's just where Arkansas has a weakness right now. That's a strength for the Longhorns, and it is a strength that we've seen other teams be able to exploit. So I mean, if you can't at least limit their ability to move the ball in the air, if you can at least make viewers slightly uncomfortable, it could be a really tough Saturday.
Yeah, going to have to tackle well on the perimeter. You hold them. If it's a 7-yard game, it's almost like bend, don't break. You don't want to give up anything over the top, and you don't want a little quick pass and not be able to make tackles. So it's real important how our secondary tackles. And yeah, you gotta try to find a way to put some pressure on Quinn. That's for sure.
Well, you got to hope that the offense can keep up too. Like this,
run the ball. You got to run the. I hope our running backs are ready to go because we got to be able to. So that clock winds down and keep the clock running. Keep it as close as you can for as long as you can.
Sounds like Jackson's back healthy, though he's listed probable, but he's been practicing. It's Braylon Russell who's the one that's questionable, and he didn't really run very much a couple of weeks ago. So now I wouldn't expect much from him. Dubinion, how much can you lean on Jaquindon Jackson after not carrying the ball for a couple of weeks? And the idea that he's had the bumps and bruises that have forced him out for a couple of series here and there. So, I mean, Dubinion's going to have to carry quite a bit of the load too. Rodney Hill, he got out there against Ole Miss. You're going to need him as well.
Hopefully Taylon's healthy too, and he can use his legs. I think that could be a big part. I know early in the season, especially like the Oklahoma State game, when we were talking about, I was like, I think he'll probably average around 60 yards a game, and then, injuries happen. You kind of got to change the way you play. But hopefully if he can be healthy and be dynamic and be that type of athlete that he is, he has moments of magic. He can be special at times. The thing that worries you is, we stop Ole Miss and then we turn the ball over, right? Can we have a clean game? Are we going to have a 0 turnover game? Because if we go out there and if we have 3 turnovers, it could get ugly.
And it's just like, I mean, you remember when we talked about it the Monday after that game, it was almost like Kiffin going for it on 4th and goal was like, you know what, if we don't get this, it's still an offensive play for us because our pass rush is so good and we're going to be able to get to Green. It's where the turnovers occur, too. So many of the turnovers this year, and I know there have been a lot of them, have just occurred at the absolute worst place. Not just in the end zone, but, pick 6, near the goal line, inside the 5, inside the 10.
How's our tight end situation? I know there
Healthy,
was news,
but only you got your 2 guys
a couple
that aren't
weeks
on the
ago.
team anymore.
So I didn't know if when in the 2 deep, 3 dip, if Luke Haas is healthy, we're fine. It's as long as he can go out there and go.
He was out there Tuesday in front of the media, and again, it's like saying all the right things, but hey, I mean, he was able to play the whole game against Ole Miss. That's a good thing, because I can't remember too often that he's been out there from the first quarter to the end and been effective. In fact, he scored the last touchdown against the Rebels. So, that's got to be a good sign. So there's a weapon right there. I mean, you're going to have a big game from all your guys. It's not like there's some big surprise somewhere that you expect to rise up and win you the game. It would be great to have like a Jordan Watkins somewhere that is your 3rd best receiver that has the record-setting day.
Anthony could do that. I mean, if you can get him in the crease somewhere, get him in the scene.
And they want to get him involved so much, you can see it.
Satania needs to show up. Where's Satania been?
It's been a minute.
Yeah. I like some of our skill guys out there, and I hadn't seen anybody all year stop Armstrong, so I'm going to bank on that Armstrong's going to show up and do his thing.
Right, but he'll do his thing. But where else?
He's got to get some help.
Has to be part of it.
He's on the come. If you think about the last few games and what he's kind of his trajectory and what his season's been going like, I think he's been getting better. Maybe he is as healthy as he's been all year because he seems to be looking better.
877-377-6963 for calls and texts. We had a text in. The question that Brian asked was about Taylon Green and would he, take back the decision to go to Arkansas and stay at Boise. I like this text from Gavin in Fayetteville. He says, Ashton Jeanty kind of owes Taylon for leaving, and he's getting more carries because of it. He's getting 6 extra carries a game. That's about what maybe Green would have been running at Boise, healthy. 6 extra carries a game right there. So Jeanty's just about as many carries as he had last year in 12 games, and he's done that in 9 games right now. So, I mean, there is a little bit of an extra level to it.
I wonder too when it's all said and done, is Boise State going to play Indiana? Or are you going to put Boise against Bama? Like when they're doing the seeding, because I mean, is there really? I guess Boise State. I mean, they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl years ago with the Statue of Liberty play, so maybe there is a little talent there.
You watch. I'd heard
this is their defensive line. Can they stop any? That's the whole thing. I just don't know if their D line is going to be good enough.
Well, imagine this scenario. Remember, I brought it up yesterday that if all the favorites in SEC league games win for the last 3 weeks, with the exception of Arkansas beating Missouri, then LSU plays in the SEC championship game, which then means you might have, if they would win that game, a 3-loss team, not just in the playoff, but getting a bye, for crying out loud. And that maybe or maybe not, because at that point, the committee's looking at a 3-loss conference champion and thinking, that's not one of the top 4 ranked conference champions. Would Boise get a home game then? Potentially?
That would be
Wouldn't that be wild?
Matchup.
Wouldn't that be
LSU and
amazing?
Boise.
The SEC literally eats itself alive. The conference champion has 3 losses, and the committee puts the group of 5 champion in the top 4 and not the SEC champion. You want to talk about a conniption? Greg Sankey's head would split apart.
That's the biggest reason why they're not going to go to a 9-game SEC schedule, because you're chewing each other up. And they rather play out of conference somewhere. And I could see an SEC Big Ten matchup where you seed them up based on the last year matchup, where 1 plays 1, 2 plays 2. That's a tough game. But if your conference, you add another, that's every team in your conference is going to get another loss.
Look, if that's the scenario that happens, then you can take this college football playoff the way that it is right now and just completely throw it out the window. They're not going to do
Sorry,
it that way.
half the teams, not every team.
Well, they're not going to do it that way anymore because this is an experiment. These 2 years are an experiment. And after the 2025 college football season, when the 26th championship game is played, 2026 January, they're already renegotiating. Things are going to end up changing again, and the SEC will end up getting a guaranteed bye for their champion because you kind of should, to be quite honest. This is such a crazy year in this sport. Never going to see quite anything like this again. At least I don't think you will. Jeff in Fort Smith wonders about the former MLB guy, Monte Harrison. Yeah, I mean, he's played. I've seen him on the hands team, seen him on special teams, maybe 2 or 3 snaps a game at receiver, but just, he hasn't, who knows what's going on at practice, but he hasn't necessarily been a guy that has been out there getting targets. But I wondered about this earlier. So he's a walk-on. He's a freshman, right? I mean, doesn't matter what your age is. Freshman is a freshman. I guess there's still a ladder to climb, and I still don't remember seeing Monte on the depth chart at any point. So I don't know if that's the guy that'll just rise up all of a sudden and back up Armstrong. But Broden has shown a few things here and there. He started to hold on to the ball a little bit more.
Broden might be our most violent runner after the catch. If he can we can get him the ball in space, get him in the ball while he's moving. Because I like the way he runs with the ball. He's very athletic.
But you can tell they want to get Anthony involved. I mean, he was the first play from scrimmage 2 weeks ago was him over the middle, and try to get him in space. He or Satania, one of those little smaller, fast guys, to hopefully get past that defense. Because, over the top, for the most part, has been Armstrong and like the one to Satania and Auburn, which was more scramble drill than anything else.
One to Anthony as well. Was that Mississippi State, I think?
Yeah, that's right. That's going to be a different thing. Mississippi State, as I think their ranking for pass defense is worst in the SEC.
And Texas is the best
in the nation.
Oh, there you go.
Right. Yeah. Things are a little different 2 weeks or 3 weeks, 2 games after. Just a little bit different. All right, quick break here on halftime. Don't forget, great specials at Fish City Grill right now in Rogers. 18 blackened shrimp inside the cilantro lime shrimp tacos. They coat them with cilantro lime vinaigrette topped with jalapeno guacamole, cheddar jack cheese, lettuce, tomato, and pico. You get Cuban black beans and rice as your sides. Texas redfish seared to perfection topped with Thanksgiving oyster dressing and warm winter herb beurre blanc. 479-636-8833 to call Fish City Grill for curbside pickup or delivery. You can just stop by on their South Bellevue Road location in Rogers. Also online at fishcitygrill.com. Quick break. Wrap up the first hour of halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Come see Cody and the gang at Advanced Mechanical Performance. You can find them at 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Need repair or service for your ATV or UTV? Advanced Mechanical Performance can do it all, as well as taking care of all of your power sports parts accessory needs. Give them a call today at 434-4161. That's 434-4161. Or stop by 3201 Wheeler Avenue. Advanced Mechanical Performance. It's what you should be striving for.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jam Mart. Jam Mart is always trying to save you money, and that's why they partner with Valero. Hook up your checking account to the Valero Pay Plus app, and you'll get 10 cents off a gallon, plus other special deals on holidays and more. Jam Mart and Valero, passing on the savings to you. Now available at the 3 Fort Smith Valero Jam Mart locations. And stop by any of the 6 Jam Mart locations in the area. Jam Mart, the leading gas station and convenience store in the region.
Are you tired of the overcrowded crowded fitness centers. Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
The American Patriot Promotions Gun Show is coming to Clarksville Saturday, November 16th and Sunday, November 17th. On Saturday, the doors open from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 9 till 3. The American Patriot Promotions Clarksville Gun Show is at the Johnson County Fairgrounds. Tickets are just $10 per person and only $8 for military and police. Plus, veterans get in for only $5. Children 16 and under are free. Go to AmericanPatriotPromotions.com.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Finally, football season. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria is your #1 place to watch Arkansas and Monday Night Football. During Monday Night Football, $5 refillable beer cups for only $2 refills. Prizes for each score and at the end of every single quarter. Can you believe that they've had the same great pizza since 1996? That's nearly 30 years. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. You'll get the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I love how I come in today in the studio and all of a sudden, the guys on the Morning Rush, with C-Unit, of course, was producing, found out that these video game chairs actually have leg rests and can recline, and they can cook your dinner for you if you ask them to.
Sure.
Or you spent the right amount of money for it. How do you have these seats in here for how long? 2 years? And they just figured these things out? Hey, you want to recline, Matt?
It's what's new high score mean? You know, you get a new chair in, you're going to set high scores.
This doesn't even really look very comfortable for playing a video game. Though I don't. Maybe I just don't play enough video games to know what's comfortable for it. But yeah, I mean, you can recline in here. Why not? You might as well. People don't like if you recline on commercial flights. Some people don't. Maybe that's why Bronny's not going to fly. He doesn't like when the person in front of him reclines. You're on one of those. You're on one of those NBA jets. It doesn't matter because the person reclining ahead of you is still like half a mile in front of you. 877-377-6963. And then, yeah, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 open water bottles here in the studio too. I mean, I feel like a mother coming into somebody's bedroom and all of a sudden now I'm castigating the hosts.
Those
on
are
ESPN
mine.
Arkansas.
Yeah, those are accounted for.
No, those are closed. Those are not the ones I was referring to.
Those weren't lost. Yeah.
No, I mean we got a couple. Are these yours too? No, those were yours too. Matt, I'm castigating you for not cleaning your room. No, one of them was C units too. You had two of them, and I mean that open cup right here. That is absolutely driving me crazy. I don't know what you're like when you're around your electronics, when you're around your video game chair and everything that you spent $1,000 for. You're going to keep your open drink containers away from our very expensive electronics.
And little Jerry Seinfeld away from the cords down there because his teeth are coming in.
That's exactly right. Do you notice him trying to chew my my headphone cord yesterday? I have bought cat resistant headphone cords now. Finally, it only took like 4 years to figure that thing out. Oh man, yeah. I the last time I was in the studios with you guys, I never sat. I stood for 3 hours, and I felt like Matt did
I've been
the
doing
same
this
thing on
standing
purpose.
Well, I've been standing and leaning a lot instead of sitting down for the show the last, I don't know, week or so.
You
But
mean it wasn't a standing competition?
Ooh, I mean, competitors compete, and if that's what you're going to do, you gotta find something. Got to find a chip on your shoulder somewhere.
You ever do a staring contest? That's fun competition.
They had Ahmad Carroll was our guy. We played Minnesota Golden Gophers, and they wore us out that game. They were tough, but they were. You have both teams there, and you're going to eat dinners and doing stuff like that. And they called Ahmad Carroll and one of their guys down. And yeah, man, Ahmad Carroll.
Contest?
They got up there in front of the stage, and Ahmad, he's a G. I was like, we sent the right one.
It's like the weigh-ins for boxers. It always looks like they're being paid extra for the staring contest. Do that for pre-bowl. Was this a bowl game? It was a bowl game.
Yeah, they had a guy named Lawrence Maroney and another guy named Marion Barber, and we it's like, who are these guys? And we couldn't. It was cold, and it was kind of like the Ole Miss game. I mean, we kind of just we didn't play very well.
Yeah, that's great. Thumb wrestling, staring contests, slap fights, all sorts of competition. Why not? Get with us as we head into hour number 2. We'll start with our guests as well. Bob Holt in about 20 minutes. 877-377-6963. Halftime right back.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On And Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, low 60s north, upper 60s south. Clear sky tonight, mid to upper 30s. Friday, right back to sunshine, a high low 60s north, upper 60s south. And Saturday, lots of sunshine, a high in the middle to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Crabtree RV Studios on ESPN 95.3. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center Studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here. That's the perspective. If I'm all right. Joaquin State dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones, man, take it to the house. And the dunk.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What's angle one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
1 minute after 12 o'clock, hour 2, halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. We roll along here. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston is our producer. Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette coming up in about 15 minutes. Wide open right now for you at 877-377-6963. I will take your corrections when there is something that needs to be corrected. Chase texted in a correction out of the 870 about the rankings in pass defense. I had said I thought Mississippi State potentially could be last in the SEC. They are not. Arkansas is last in the SEC. Mississippi State would be ranked just ahead of the Razorbacks. And, the Hogs on 125th. And that would be 9th worst in terms of just passing yards allowed per game, 266 yards per game. So, and see, that's why when you the idea of how are the Razorbacks going to play on Saturday? And we've spent so much time like focusing on getting them hyped up, getting them to learn about the rivalry and the meaning of it, and that the intensity of it, and making sure you're going out and playing your best. And I just wonder, with the strengths of Texas and where Arkansas is more vulnerable, how much can that help? Because Texas very well could feel the same way that the Arkansas players do. You know that Sark, I heard Joe Test this morning on Chuck and Bo, and he was talking about his meeting with Sark. They played the last 5 minutes of the telecast from the 21 game, where all of us were running on the field, and Test was screaming at the top of his lungs, delivered a great call, by the way. So, Sam can show the highlights of the moments of 64 and the shootout and all of that. It was funny because I'm listening to a couple of guys talk about that. They were asked questions about it on Tuesday, and they said that the video was so grainy they could barely even see it. You couldn't even really make out what was happening, but they knew what it was they were watching. But that can connect with guys in much more of a disjointed way than, hey, all of you that are here in front of me and the 11 of you that were on this team when this happened 3 years ago. I'm right now Sark talking to his team. No talking right now. Just watch this. Now, if you're one of those 11 guys, or if you're one of the teammates that decided to join the Longhorns this year or the year before, as they've built this team into a legitimate SEC team. don't you think that they will be just as fired up as we are all hoping that the Razorbacks are?
Well, you're going into this battle, and it's really not up to us. It's up to Texas. If Texas shows up, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to not to let that's what Coach Sark's trying to do is, hey, don't overlook this Arkansas team. See how much it means to them. They're going to give you their best, and so you got to kind of understand that because Texas does have a lot of talent. And it's really, are we going to make them uncomfortable? Can we get a turnover here or there? Does Texas not have their best game? Yeah. Do they not have their best day?
What can you do to ensure that they don't have their best game? Where can you throw a little fly into the ointment for the team that's got 3 or 4 potential first rounders that are that are playing for them right now, right?
They might have the best prospect at quarterback in the country. Carson Beck was what people were, but he's kind of fallen off. And I know Ewers was hurt for a little bit, but and I told you I like the kid at LSU as well. But man, and then Drew Aller at Penn State. You start looking around at quarterback play, but Duke can go.
Is Shedeur maybe the best prospect, NFL prospect of the quarterbacks?
I think Shedeur is overrated,
really?
But that's just me. We've had a couple other guys, and they said that his arm is strong enough. I don't know if it's strong enough. Now, he's running the same offense since the 7th grade, so you got to think about how fluid and how comfortable he is. Is that going to be the same offense, same terminology when he goes to the next level? Is he a big enough, strong enough kid? I don't know. I mean, he's going to get a look. That's for sure.
Well, and for somebody that's used to playing for dad, and I know there's all sorts of other situations where a great athlete has played for his father as a coach and has gone on to success later on. But I feel like there's a little bit of a difference with this situation because it's the Sanders family show with this with this program that admittedly has risen up into a league contender in the Big 12, and we may watch them.
They got Utah, man. That's going to be a tough game. Utah was kind of picked to win it. Their quarterback, you don't know really what they're 1-5, 4-5,
and should have beaten BYU.
Colorado's, there you go.
At BYU, down in that last
LSU, Missouri, South Carolina. That's going to be a big time game, and then Tennessee, Georgia. That's the playoff right there.
Very well might be. Here's Charlie. Morning. 6 minutes after 12 o'clock. Good afternoon, Charlie. How are you?
Well, Phil, I mean, it's still the morning somewhere. You know what I mean? So we're good. Hey, I was thinking though, Matt, you talking about Shedeur there. I'm sold on him. But now, granted, I don't know, depending on the situation, I think he's an extremely intelligent kid too. I'm not calling the other guys dumb or anything. They're intelligent too. I don't mean that, but I just think, he's played for, the work ethic. The thing with Shedeur, though, guys, does he have a little bit of his dad's, for a quarterback to be, he's kind of, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with being arrogant, but sometimes he comes across a little bit like he'll say whatever. I don't know if you've seen some of that, Phil. Like, he told that one cat, like, you can't F word with me. So, on the field after the game.
So, I'm sure there are some other things that are said on a football field, though.
Oh, and that's true. That's true. I get it. I get that. I'm not trying to knock him for that, but yeah, man, I'm sold on Shedeur. I think he's the best player. I mean, the best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. But yeah, Ewers is a great player. I think the thing about Ewers that's crazy is Texas fans are insane when Archie Manning goes in there. It's like they want him so bad that they forget how good Quinn Ewers really is.
Yeah, but that goes to the same idea as Shedeur in some case, Charlie. It's like there's a celebrity that goes along with being, with having that last name. Or, Deion is a celebrity in and of himself, and that's a different kind of celebrity than I think, where like Peyton, it's just they present themselves a little bit differently. But there's a celebrity with those two that's much different than really anybody that I can remember in college football right now.
That is true, but with the whole, it's just a new era, man. And I want to give a big shout out real quick here. And then LeBron and Wemby last night, Matt. I don't know if you saw Wemby's performance the last couple of games. Have you thrown this question at Phil yet? Who would be the two players that he would take right now?
Well, we were talking about this off the air. Didn't he put up 50?
He scored 50, but I mean, and it's crazy. The guy made 8 threes. I mean, but if he shoots between 35 and 40% for his career from three, good luck guarding that man. And he does everything else well. He averages like 4 blocks a game. That's why I said I would pick him last week, Matt. You asked the question, 2 players right now who you would pick, and you say you want to go off in the next 7 years with them. Phil, I said Anthony Edwards and him. And everybody's got their own opinion about it. I mean, all the players that Matt mentioned were great. That's the way I looked at it. And with this basketball team, guys, God Almighty, I hate it for TB and Adu. But you know, we got to go with who we got now. We're about to see a zone defense, right? Because hey, we only got 7 guys, so
that's
got to
right.
keep their legs and stay out of foul trouble. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks very much, Charlie. 877-377-6963. That's right. I mean, they're pretty much at what, 7 right now. If Brazil isn't, healthy on Monday, and it just looks to me like it's going to be a while for Adu to look like anything of the beast that we saw at Tennessee last year. I mean, I think it was a major ankle injury, and it took Brazil an entire season to make it back from an ankle injury that might have been a little bit similar. So I mean, this to me is, I think, a major concern at the moment. It's an idea of depth in the post, and 2 of your best guys right there are dealing with injuries that's, they're ankle injuries. And it's not like these go away really easily, Matt.
Man, there's some big time games coming up too. I mean, if you're kind of looking at the schedule, if he misses a game here and now, it's okay. It's a long year. You want him. I mean, when conference play gets here, you definitely want to be in the fold, because we see this every year in basketball. Phil, if you're gone for an extended period of time, it just takes you so long to kind of come back and get up to date and up to speed. We saw it with Nick Smith and his talent level and how good he is, but then you get hurt and it's just your timing's a little bit off. So yeah, I'm sure, Coach, that they'll.
Well, remember that team with Nick Smith? It never felt like they were, they were really able to mesh. Because of those injuries, it was just a roller coaster season. You end up as an Elite 8. They meshed when it came time to make your legacy.
Ricky Council and Devo and Anthony Black. I mean, they were making some plays. That's right. Ricky Council's just as athletic as anybody.
So it's going to take time for this team to mesh. You knew that already just because of how new everything is, but it feels like it's going to take longer, because of the idea that they haven't been able to practice together. They haven't been able to scrimmage together at all. I mean, the only games that they're playing, it's not against each other. It's against the team that they're playing on Monday or, like last night. So you can't really develop chemistry until you're playing together. And it doesn't feel like they're going to be playing together, meaning everybody healthy at the same time, at least for a while. Look, I think I expected something like this. I just sort of go into it, see someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to have a nagging injury, and you're going to have to find a way to come back from it. But what I do see is a team that can play defense, that can give great effort. And I'm impressed holding any college basketball opponent to less than 50 points. So, with that said, there are concerns. There might be a few other teams in the SEC right now that could be ahead of the Razorbacks in terms of who's healthy and chemistry and just getting a little momentum moving forward. I think it's still going to be a really good team.
Man, Auburn Tigers are going to be tough. Tennessee's going to be tough. Alabama's going to be. I mean, the SEC basketball, it's real. I don't know if you got it on par. Like if you said SEC football, do you go baseball then basketball when you kind of start talking, because the ACC.
You mean in terms of like toughness in the league?
Yeah, just like, man, that's the best conference, because baseball would be SEC and football would be SEC, right?
There's a little more of a feeling of baseball right now in the football season, because there are more teams right now that feel like they could actually play for a national title and maybe even win it out of the SEC. Hello, we're talking about Ole Miss being a national contender, and it's legit. The SEC in baseball, you've had all these different national champions in the last decade. There's like 7 or 8 teams going in every year that legitimately could win. It's not quite like that in football, but it's not far from that right now. With basketball, who do you think you'd put at that level? The teams you just mentioned? So I'd put it on par with football, potentially right now. This is a much better basketball league.
And then UConn, obviously. We want UConn basketball.
They're a league in and of themselves.
Yeah, that's right.
Currently, it's almost like they're the Notre Dame of basketball.
Oh, my goodness.
They're
not good at winning close games, so that's why they got to win them all by double digits.
Looking for a side-by-side motorcycle, ATV, zero-turn mower? Never look any farther than your local Wood Power Sports store in Harrison, Springdale, and Fayetteville. All the brands, Can-Am, Polaris, Yamaha, Suzuki, just to name a few. 3 convenient locations with outstanding service and parts capabilities and deliveries. You can learn more at woodpowersports.com. Wood Power Sports, a solid name you can trust. Bob Holt from the Democrat Gazette joins halftime right after the break.
This is the worst-looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh? Oh, it looks good on you, though.
This is halftime.
Building warriors.
Physical toughness and physicality matter more now than ever.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call, cleans it all.
Brandon Zimmerman in Bartley.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with Always On Energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Should start with Bob.
It's time to talk with a unique individual.
You said you and Diva are OGs, old guys? Brad, you spoke so positively recently. I mean, did you expect this to happen?
He's a man of mystery.
Why do you always talk about Arkansas? But go ahead.
Well, why do you always talk about Kentucky? Hey, it's Bob again. I think I'm unmuted now. I figured it out. Man, you win the lottery 3 times, get to go to Starkville.
A man whose incisive questions and rapier wit.
Hey, John, but I had a 2-parter if that's okay. What did you mean? I'm sorry. I'm not that hip. Man, we got to get the Packers straightened out. Losing to the Jets that ain't in Lambeau, that ain't good.
That placed him on the Mount Rushmore of Arkansas sports writers.
What do you think about that?
Sure, Bob. The future in that, yeah.
Here he is, the one and only Bob Holt.
Hey, guys.
Bob, good afternoon. How's it going today?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Doing very well. Always good to have you on. Thank you very much. What do you take away from watching Arkansas beat Troy yesterday? What was the first thing you're thinking of?
Well, ugly game, but they found a way to, put it away in the second half. And if you'd have told me before the game Arkansas would win by 16, I'd say, well, that's a pretty good win because Troy, I mean, they're obviously not, Kansas or Duke or North Carolina, but that's a pretty solid major program. Scott Cross has been coaching there a while. He did a good job at UT Arlington before that. If people remember, not a different team, but same program, Troy came into Walton Arena 2 years ago and had an Arkansas team that eventually went to Sweet 16, had them down by 3 with less than 7 minutes to play. And Ricky Council had to kind of go off, and Orange had a big 17-0 run and won that game 74-61. And so this game was not exactly like that, but it was kind of similar in that Troy was hanging around. They were only down by 3 with less than 12 minutes playing. Arkansas went on like a 21-7 run, got the 3-point shots going. So the first half was really ugly. Arkansas did not shoot well. Cal was not happy with the way they closed the game out after they'd put it away. They had some ill-advised shots and some turnovers. But, Arkansas is obviously a work in progress. It has talent. It also needs to get healthy. Trevor Brazil, who I thought was playing great, only got to play 9 minutes because he hurt his ankle. Hopefully that's not serious. And Jonas Adu barely played, so he's still fighting his way back, working his way back. So not a great performance by any stretch of the imagination, but at the end of the day, they won a game they should have won, and by about the margin they should have.
Hey, what's your initial reaction of the freshman Boogie Fland? It's just been a couple games, and sometimes the way the college basketball is, freshmen have to grow up quick. What's kind of your impression watching him these couple games?
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, he's projected as a first-round pick, and I can certainly see why. I'm not saying he'd go to the NBA next year and set it on fire, but that's the way things are now. When you show a lot of potential as a young guy, you're probably going to be a high draft pick, and then you kind of look at Anthony Black. He's playing pretty well for Orlando now, his second year in the league after not getting to play a ton last year. But yeah, Boogie Fland, he's a guy that he hit some threes. I think he was 3 for 5. Excuse me. I think he's a pretty good shooter and is better than he had shown from perimeter. Definitely can get downhill. Good defender. The other night against Baylor, he had 7 assists without a turnover. Last night he had 4 turnovers, which is, too many for a point guard, but he also had 7 assists. So I think on the season he's got 17 assists and 5 turnovers. So that's certainly a ratio you'll take. He's just a real impressive all-around player. And you can argue if he's their best player, most talented guy, highest upside, highest ceiling, whatever you want to say. But yeah, he's been very impressive as a freshman for sure.
I really like Thiero. I think right now he's probably the most complete player on the team. But I really think they need Jonas Adu. Somebody that has already shown he can be a top level defender in this league, can score in this league. But right now, whatever it was that happened to his ankle is obviously affecting him to the point where I know Cal was talking that they had to tell him to dress out because he wasn't going to dress out for the game. They said, we may need you for an emergency. It turned out that emergency was couldn't score in the first half. Throw him out there, and he's only scored 2 points, and he's barely been out there. And do we know anything about how far away they think he could be to be able to be something close to what he was at Tennessee?
Well, they're very tight-lipped, I would say, about injuries. And I don't know. Cal did confirm that Trevor Brazile was an ankle. I honestly don't know what Adu's injury has been. Maybe it's been an ankle. Maybe you know something I don't know. But Cal, he said this on the radio Monday night. He said again last night. He estimates he's around 70%, maybe 75%. That he's in pain. And like you said, he wasn't going to dress out. Cal said, "Put your uniform on. I probably won't play you, but I might need to for a few minutes." And he's barely been out there. He's obviously, if you watch him against Baylor and Lipscomb, and I don't mean this as a criticism, it's just I think the truth. He's not in game shape, nor would you expect him to be, because he's been missing a lot of practice time. Sometimes I think people forget, he's healthy enough to play. Yeah, but what about all that practice time he missed? That's important, getting those reps in and getting your conditioning. So I really don't know a timetable. I think, he felt like he was probably making some progress, getting 9 minutes or whatever against Lipscomb and 7 or 8 minutes or whatever it was against Baylor. Don't have the boxes in front of me. But then he barely plays 4 minutes last night, and they basically said on the broadcast he wasn't going to play in the second half. So he clearly was not feeling well. They don't want to push it. They want him to be ready for the SEC, obviously, and for postseason play and all that. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, he's a big guy. He's all SEC player last year at Tennessee, preseason all SEC player. People remember Tennessee's big win at Arkansas. He just destroyed Arkansas, inside, a really strong player and an older guy, a senior, been through the SEC, for 3 years now at Tennessee. So he's a key guy, and I think they got to get Trevin back, too. I mean, right now they're down 2 guys, and they really basically have what I would call 9 rotational players. Cal talked about that before the season. He didn't want to have, 12 or 13 guys and have guys who were upset because they weren't playing, and then this way they don't have to buy as much NIL money. So they were going to have basically 9 main guys, and they'd fill it in with guys on scholarship, but they frankly were developmental type players, kind of walk-on type guys for a program like Arkansas. And so we'll see how this works, and if it's going to bite them in the backside, that their numbers are down, say, once SEC play starts. So hopefully they get everybody back and healthy. But that's going to take a little bit of time, certainly for guys to get in game shape for Adu.
Bob, I want to go over to the gridiron, and before we get into this Arkansas-Texas matchup, I want to ask you about Tennessee-Georgia. Do you see Georgia bouncing back, or is this, another loss? This is kind of a playoff eliminator for Georgia. How do you see this Tennessee-Georgia matchup going?
Yeah, I thought Georgia would go show what I know. I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but I thought Georgia would at Ole Miss, and I thought LSU at night would beat Alabama. So that's why it's a good thing I don't bet on games, because I would have lost my shirt and lots of other stuff. And but yeah, I really think Georgia will bounce back at home. Their back's against the wall. I think Tennessee's good, but I don't know if they're good enough to go into Athens and win. Kirby Smart's won 7 straight over Tennessee. I guess the Vols have to beat them again sometime, but I don't think Saturday in Athens will be it. So, yeah, I think Georgia is still one of the best teams in the country. I think it just goes to show you how well Ole Miss is playing. I mean, not that was a good performance by Arkansas, but, Ole Miss is – you're like shaking your head going, Kentucky's won 1 SEC game all year, and there was at Oxford. Doesn't make any sense. And LSU has not played really well. LSU could easily be 5-5, honestly, but they – came back and beat Ole Miss. So Ole Miss has been kind of an underachieving team. Probably should be undefeated, but I guess to answer your original question, I just think Georgia will beat Tennessee. But based on my track record, I don't think people should run out there and start putting a bunch of money on the Bulldogs.
With 3 games left in the regular season, who do you think right now is the best team in the Southeastern Conference?
I think the team playing the best right now is Ole Miss. Now, maybe that's only been for a couple of weeks, but seeing what they did to Arkansas, and I get Arkansas is not, Alabama or whatever, but I think Arkansas is a solid team at home, and Ole Miss just came in there and just took it to them. And then, I got to watch a little bit of that game last week before going to the basketball game, and they Ole Miss coughs it up, and Georgia cashes in, and Dart's flipping around. You're thinking, well, okay, this game's over, Georgia all the way. And then Ole Miss outscores them 28-3 the rest of the way. Ole Miss is just so good on defense, which they never have been before. And obviously they have Dart, and they're doing this without Trey Harris, maybe one of the top receivers in the country, in playing. They've had some other injuries. So the SEC team I would least like to play right now would be Ole Miss.
All right, how do you foresee Saturday going down with Arkansas and Texas? I don't think we can draw much from the 21 win. Texas is a much different team since then, a lot better. What has to happen?
Well, for Arkansas to pull an upset, I do think it's possible. It's not likely, or else it wouldn't be called an upset, right? But, some of the stuff sounds, is football 101, but Arkansas has had issues in the losses with turning the ball over. They haven't just, turned it over a couple times and got a takeaway. They've turned it over 3 times and not gotten anything. And so they really have to win that turnover margin, maybe by 2 or 3. So they need help from Texas. But they got to win the turnover margin. They sure can't lose it by 2 or 3. That would be disastrous. They got Jaquindon Jackson. Sounds like he's going to be back. That's important because they got to get the run game going. Hopefully Taylon Green can run the ball well too, because Texas has a really strong pass defense, and so I think Arkansas is going to have to run the ball well, stay out of those 3rd and longs, and they're going to give up points. I think it's going to be, if Arkansas wins, it's going to have to be a high-scoring game. Probably going to have to score 30-plus points. I don't know if that's doable against Texas. Georgia did it, but I think it's possible. But the fans are going to need to bring it at 11 a.m. Obviously, the team's got to bring it. And, Texas has to have probably a bit of an off day. Maybe not as off a day as they had in 1981 when Arkansas beat them 42-11. But I bring that up. I've covered some Texas-Arkansas games that you didn't see that coming with the way Arkansas beat them in the Cotton Bowl to cap the 1999 season. Just really took it to Texas. So it's possible, not likely, but at home, I think Arkansas has a puncher's chance, whatever that saying is. And, Texas is going to have to come in and play well, I think. And, Steve Sarkisian brought up a good point about the grind of the SEC. Obviously, it's physical, the line of scrimmage, all that, but mentally, you got to be ready to play every week. And he didn't name anybody, but he said, or else there are some teams kicking themselves for losing. Well, I think that was a pretty obvious reference. Ole Miss losing to Kentucky, Alabama losing to Vandy, Tennessee losing at Arkansas. There's A&M losing to South Carolina. There's been a lot of upsets in the league. Maybe Arkansas has already had their upset. Maybe they can't pull another. But I think we've seen the SEC that there are going to be some upsets every week.
Well, and I think it's been on display that the middle to the bottom middle of the SEC is probably considerably stronger than we're seeing from some of the other power leagues, especially the Big Ten, where you haven't had those sorts of upsets. And then you end up with a top 25 where there's 4 Big Ten teams in the top 5, but nobody else ranked. And the SEC is littered all throughout the top 25. And you get a potential Georgia that could be left out of the playoff 12. And like the Big Ten's got 4, they're going to get in. I don't think there's anything that can
if Missouri wins out, are they in? That would be 2 losses. Do you think, Bob, if Missouri beats South Carolina, Missouri wins out? I mean, that's 10-2. How do you leave an SEC team that's 10-2 out?
Well, maybe if they lost at A&M, what was it, 41-10, and lost at Alabama 30. I'm a Missouri grad. I mean, but beating South Carolina on the road would be big because South Carolina's ranked. South Carolina's another SEC team that's playing really well. They're going to make the playoffs at 6-3, but they're playing really well. That's another team I probably wouldn't want to play right now. I just think it'd be really hard for Missouri to climb above Alabama and Tennessee and Georgia and Ole Miss. 10-2 would be a real nice record to have, but I just think it's hard to put a team in the playoffs that got beat on the road like Arkansas got beat. Like Missouri got beat by A&M and Alabama. I know if I was on the committee, those would really stick out to me.
Hey, Bob, we'll leave it there. Appreciate you hopping on today. Thank you for making time.
Okay, you guys take care.
Thanks, Bob.
Bob Holt, Democrat Gazette, with us each Thursday on Halftime. Hey, craving anything sweet and delicious? Andy's Frozen Custard has the greatest frozen treats around. Make sure you take home pick 6 for football Saturday. 6 of your favorite flavors. Game time treat. Delicious. That's Andy's Frozen Custard. They are in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street, Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. Andy's Frozen Custard. They do walk up or drive through and always ready to serve you. Calls and texts on halftime at 877-377-6963. Back in just a moment.
Got a 911 with a quadraphonic blow pop. Don't need a quadraphonic blow pop. What you need is a curveball.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because our Kansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hitting the road this summer? Do what truck drivers do. Bring plenty of 5-Hour Energy. You'll get the alert, energized feeling you need to get where you're going and do everything you want to do when you get there. It's small, light, and portable, like it was made for road trips. Just crack it open, knock it back, and keep both hands on the wheel. Because when it comes to road trips... Are we there yet? Safety comes first. 5-Hour Energy. Energy on the go. For more information, visit 5hourenergy.com.
The referee looks at his watch, and that's halftime.
This is halftime.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
You will never find a boring old burger
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, NBA, and college basketball, NHL to UFC and MMA. Head to BetOnline today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
On ESPN.
sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Prime Video football tonight. Washington and Philadelphia. Right now, the dominant teams in the NFC East. And this is great football. It should be great to watch these two teams go at it. Finally get a good game on Thursday night, too. Lots of good NFL games coming up this weekend.
Both you guys, and I know you're C Cowboy over here, but if I gave you Jaden Daniels or Jalen Hurts, who do you want as your quarterback? Because are both these guys healthy? Is Jaden Daniels playing? But if you get both these guys for the next 5 years, who do you want running your team?
Right now, I'm going to go with Daniels. He looks to me like he's a better passer.
7 games, 8 games. That's what we've seen of him. You're sold on him.
Just on 7 and 8 games. That's right. Well, you got a guy who already took a team to the Super Bowl, right? So maybe I should have gone in that direction. Hurts is playing well too, but Philadelphia now with a true run game and a running back that can make a difference.
Saquon Barkley, you gotta he needs to go on the baby goat schedule, just playing home games. Let's make sure he can play in the playoffs because that dude, he's top 5 running back in the NFL right now.
Too bad his home stadium has that awful turf.
Play on the road games then.
Just pick one side to play on.
Yeah.
Steve Berger, which one would you go with? He asked you too.
Jaden Daniels, he's a younger, and I feel like he's just got more upside. Hurts, I don't know, man.
You think you know what Hurts is? Hurts is kind of like Russell Wilson. You got to run the ball, play action, be tough, throw it over the top.
He's not
as accurate.
And I feel like he's lost some of his explosiveness. I don't think he's like the dynamic. I mean, he'll hurt you with his legs, but I mean, Daniels he's another level.
Well, that's tonight, 7:15. You got to do something for those who don't have like a team that you root for necessarily, but you just like to watch compelling matchups on Sundays. You better just keep the TV in flip mode. Or do the split screen, which I know plenty of us do now, because you can watch 2 games at once on your YouTube TV. In the same time windows, you get Ravens, Steelers, Packers, Bears. Now, I don't know if the Packers-Bears game is going to be all that good because Chicago can't move the ball, but now they got rid of the offensive coordinator. Talking about maybe benching Caleb for a little bit? But that's an offense right now that is unwatchable. Ravens and Steelers, that's not a game for the lighthearted. That's like watching I remember watching these videos in the 80s. NFL Films would put them out. Who remembers watching Crash Course? They had various versions of Crash Course, 30-minute videos, highlight videos, just of the most bone-crunching hits.
Ravens Steelers it's going to be 25-24, but I can't tell you who's going to win.
But it'll come down to the very last play. Always does. Pittsburgh's got something on Lamar.
Their defense, dude, TJ Watt, I mean, you talk about, did he get hurt last year? Was that the year he got hurt?
He had a chest injury.
Fell off.
A chest muscle.
But him, Bosa, you talk about Myles Garrett, Hutchinson, the kid that got hurt as well. But, man, he's so dynamic, and he covers so much space.
Yeah, he's dominant against every team in the AFC North, and even the mediocre Steelers teams have found a way to beat him. I don't think this is a mediocre Steelers team, so I'd be the same with you. I don't know who's going to win that game. I know who I hope does. Niners Seahawks is 3:00 on Fox, and Chiefs Bills. Seahawks Niners, like the AFC West this year is just so, but those are 2 contenders in that league. It's a rivalry. It's not quite, the same level as it might have been even 3, 4, 5 years ago. Is there anything better than Chiefs Bills right now in terms of top level quarterbacks, in terms of, a city that's a franchise that is the dominant franchise in the league, and a feeling that if the Bills were on the other side, if they were in the NFC, they may have played the Chiefs in a Super Bowl by now? Is that the best? It's not a division rivalry, so unfortunately they can't play twice in the regular season. But don't you feel like you'll see this in January again?
Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. and the Steelers. Those would be my 4 in the AFC. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to go through Lamar. You're going to have to go through Josh Allen, and you know, Patrick Mahomes is he's the favorite. He's the dude that everybody's trying to get to. Do you think the Chiefs? I don't think they're going to go undefeated. I could see the Bills winning this game, and then it's almost it's almost like them, because it's like they can win this one, then we'll get them in the playoffs. Like not that you give something up or whatever, but it is an important game. But you're trying to get a first round bye if you can, but you're trying to get into the dance.
Look, this is really maybe the one opportunity over the next few weeks for Kansas City to actually lose a game. They've got a Texas level schedule coming on now. They got the Panthers, the Raiders, the Chargers, then the Browns.
Chargers are okay. Browns are
not.
Yeah, that's 3-1 right there. I would think minimum.
Kansas City at Pittsburgh on Christmas Day.
Cleveland, they hit you. You know, they're tough. What is Jameis Winston going to be their dude?
Absolutely, because your boy on the massage table is out for the rest of the year.
Out.
So it is Jameis. Hey, it's good to have a Heisman Trophy winner as your backup quarterback.
He's a competitor, man. He's a locker room guy. People like him. You know, it's that goes a long way.
But I think it's only going to go so far in that division right now, in which the Bengals are playing better. Pittsburgh's at their best level of since Roethlisberger was the quarterback, and the Ravens are the Ravens. So it should be a good weekend of football. And then Texans-Cowboys is not a rivalry, right? Seaburger, Cowboy, that's not a rivalry. Just because they're from the same state doesn't mean it's really like a rivalry.
Personally, I feel like it is. But, I mean, when they're both good, it's kind of an interesting dynamic. But with the Cowboys being what they are this year, it won't be very competitive, I don't think.
It's the kind of thing that you turn on, but the knowledge that you're only going to be able to watch so much of it. Is that kind of your feeling?
Yeah.
Are we worried about the moonlight shining through the windows on a Monday night?
Just tear the whole stadium down. I mean, why would you say that? Like when he gets, all you got to do is put curtains up. No, I'm going to tear the whole stadium.
No, all we're hearing about now is about the sunlight. They're having a weird boxing match in that stadium on Friday night. They're going to be, as far as I understand, they're going to be putting up the blinds. So why not for the Monday night football game so that the moonlight doesn't get in?
Where's the moon?
We all know. See, we know where the sun is coming up. We're not quite sure where the moon is coming up, I guess.
Man,
Did anybody ever complain about losing a ball in the moon? It's always the lights or the sun. Nobody ever loses a ball in the moon. Go figure. 877-377-6963. Got to take a quick break. Back to wrap up our second hour right after this.
Who wants an orange whip? Orange whip? Orange whip? 3 orange whips.
This is halftime.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
TGI Fridays on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith now has meal deals starting at $9.99, which includes an entree, side, and fountain drink. Try their delicious 6-ounce sirloin served with seasoned fries for $15.99. The Bacon Ranch Chicken Sandwich with seasoned fries, $11.99. Chicken Caesar Salad for $10.99 and more. Their meal deals also include tasty chicken fettuccine Alfredo served with garlic breadsticks for $12.99 and a cheeseburger with seasoned fries for only $9.99. TGI Fridays, I-540 and Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. The merger of two good companies brings together strengths to make one great company. Regerson is now Sharp Equipment. Even though it will no longer have Joe, Jesse, or Sheila as they go off on another adventure, the foundation they have laid is now a strong asset along with Sharp Equipment to complement its offerings to their great customers. Sharp Equipment would like to thank the Taylors and look forward to continuing to serve the River Valley and beyond. Stop in at 5608 Wheeler Avenue and see what all Sharp Equipment has to offer.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook where you can check out their work.
Metal Mart offers high-quality prefabricated metal buildings, metal roofing, custom trim shop, carports, and more. They strive to be a company where contractors as well as do-it-yourselfers are welcome. Metal Mart assists you in calculating the materials needed to complete your project, all at a rate you can afford. Stop by 7320 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith or call 648-3342. You can also catch them online at metalmarts.com. Metal Mart, the right material for the right price.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. But if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Back on halftime here, 877-377-6963. You're going to have two baseball teams next season, Matt, playing in minor league stadiums in the big leagues. Oakland playing, well, they're not Oakland anymore. I got to remember that. They are just the Athletics. I'm just going to call them Ath, since that's their anagram now. And it can't even be an anagram.
Is their sister team in Madrid Atletico Madrid? They could be, because there's more athletics in soccer, it seems like. There's you would think there would be more athletics in American sports.
Time to rename the Athletics the Sedentaries. Anyway, they're playing in Sacramento, and the Tampa Bay Rays, with their stadium not playable for 2025, they're going to be playing at George Steinbrenner Field, which is where the Yankees have their spring training, and there's a Florida State League team that plays there too. So they're going to have to do the same thing that the A's will do, which is share a minor league stadium with a minor league team, which is not the easiest thing, but at least they'll have like a big league clubhouse.
The Minnesota Vikings shared Minnesota Golden Gophers Stadium when they were building their new facilities a handful of years ago.
Did you have to play there?
We did not. I don't think my 4 years that we played against Minnesota, this was 20 years ago. I don't think we ever played the Vikings.
And it was outdoor,
played
too.
The Bears, played the Packers in a in a preseason game. We played the Lions, but I don't think we played the Vikings.
There were all sorts of weird ideas of maybe sending them to play in Montreal or doing the split thing with St. Pete somewhere in a minor league stadium in Montreal. But no, they'll still be Tampa, but they'll be playing in a single A ballpark. A nice one, a really nice one, but a single A ballpark nonetheless. And today is all MLB awards today. Do I remember this before? They're doing an MLB first and second team. This sounds very much like basketball and football. You usually use the word all-star, but that's a thing that they don't do in baseball, is do postseason all-stars, the way that you do it, an all-pro team or an all-NBA team.
That's how NBA players get max contracts. You have to be on an all-NBA first, second, or third team. If you are, then you can get more money.
And to me, that's a little bit crazy, because what that does is that ties players' salaries to opinions of the writers. They're those who are voting. And look, maybe it's always been like that in some cases, because you can point to, well, this guy won the MVP over that, but when it actually is written into the players' agreement, you are basing some of your players' salaries upon opinions of those who are covering the game. And I trust those people's opinions, don't get me wrong. It's just is very odd to have that written into the labor agreement. Not sure if that'd be one that I'd sign. Could we pull that off somehow here? Could we find a way to have like an all Arkansas first and second team all radio and tie our salaries into that too?
Second team all conference.
That's right. Preseason, all conference preseason radio show.
You remember senior year? That's right. JV basketball, a couple show ponies out there.
I said, and the preseason MVP and the preseason, all of that kind of stuff just kind of makes me cackle.
Third team all state. I can make it rain out here.
I do like cackling. Matt does that to me every once in a while. Hey, I got my own personal golden hour coming up over the next 60 minutes since I am out on Friday. We'll talk with Brett Dolan, who is, if he was working at a restaurant, I would call it in the weeds. He's got like 5 games that he's calling over the next few days. Open segment when we come back, 877-377-6963. Halftime is back after this.
Hi, this is Lindsay White with White Office Machines. For over 90 years, my family's been serving the greater Fort Smith region with the image industry's newest technologies, as well as providing superior customer service through long-term business relationships. As the area's only authorized Kyocera document solutions dealer, White Office Machines provides the best value with high-speed copiers and the latest multifunction printers. Stop by our office in downtown Fort Smith or in Russellville. Follow us on Facebook or go to whiteoffice.com.
White Office Machines since 1929.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
It's the Christmas open house with a big 2-day sale at the Solid Rock. Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd. Enjoy the festive Christmas atmosphere and enjoy savings throughout the store. Select Caruso shirts for $12, women's devotionals for less than $8, and brand new personalized jewelry. Tons of door prizes and sales, and traditional wassail will be served. Come kick off the Christmas season at the Solid Rock. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th in Fort Smith, the Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 48 years.
Are holidays stressful for you? Hey, Ty Richardson for the Whippoorwill. The Newmeyers would love to take care of some of that stress by providing you an awesome Thanksgiving dinner. Call the Whippoorwill at 479-769-2095 for the best Thanksgiving catering you've ever had. Smoked turkey breast, dressing, mashed potatoes, and turkey gravy with all the fixins. The Newmeyers' newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, taking care of your holiday this year.
Seems Thanksgiving Day is upon us.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon, low 60s north, upper 60s south. Clear sky tonight, mid to upper 30s. Friday, right back to sunshine, a high low 60s north, upper 60s south. And Saturday, lots of sunshine, a high in the middle to upper 60s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Come Get You Some, Arkansas's premier off-road superstore. Call 782-MUD today. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris Fort Smith.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be a smart aleck like that.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Matt Jones, take it to the house. And the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What ain't but one Razorback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
One minute after 1 o'clock. Welcome back. Halftime continues into our third and final hour on ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. Phil Elson next to Matt Jones. Colton Little has taken over in the producer's chair. Good to see you today, Colton. I feel good about this, Matt, because my energy is waning just a little bit. Yesterday, I spoke incredibly fast. I don't know if you realized that. I'd had an extra shot of espresso in the morning, and that definitely had its effect on me. I've not had the third shot of espresso. It's just been the 2 cups. So we have a human cup of espresso with us here in the studio. It is our man, El Flama Blanca. And I'm going to throw the word caffeine in there, too, quite a bit with you, Bolton. So he is our energy shot today.
Afternoon, fellas. How we doing today?
I think he works at a place like establishment like that. Yeah, I think he's all about the coffee game.
A coffee place?
Mm-hmm. I do work as
Are you a barista?
Yeah, we call it a different word there at the coffee shop that does not pay for advertising here. So
You don't have to mention the name, but how can you work at a coffee shop and not be a barista?
Yeah, but it's
Is
a barista.
it a baristo? Is it like a ballerino?
It's a barista.
Garçon.
Yeah. And it's fun. It's fun. I love it. It's just not your traditional type coffee shop, but they're very popular, and I love it. It's fun. I enjoy it a lot, and good money, good times.
Baristo means boy. No, it doesn't. Well, good. I'm glad you. When do we get some of that stuff?
You can come by anytime. I work there basically every night.
No, I mean, when can you bring it here? You know, the next time that I'm standing here next to Matt, so that I don't have to. Get my caffeine osmosisly through you.
Is it called a blondie? That's like one of those people like that one though. Yeah.
Just text me next time you're coming in. I'll bring you some stuff. Let me know. I get a discount, obviously. I know a guy. He opens up the trench coat. I pick. It's easy money.
I don't need to hear about people's trench coats, but that's all right. Thank you. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Dan just was listening on our open there, Matt, and so we've got the highlight of you dunking, over the goalpost. Did you get flagged for that? He said he was pissed off that you still got flagged for that.
Yeah, there was. It was one of those plays where I've told the story before with Coach Loggins. We were roommates, and we had put in a new read option play with an extra shift, an extra motion, and you see it on the film. The two linebackers, they hit each other. They didn't know which way they were, and it was just wide open. It was senior day, one of those deals where, if you're up 3 or 4 touchdowns, you're not really hurting the team because, if it's you can't do that if it's you're down or whatever. So, yeah, everything that went into it, but everything, we won the game.
You got to make sure you do it at the right time, though. I can feel you on that. Dan says it was a very fun game, and that's certainly one of the moments that people are remembering from it. We were going in on the Chiefs and potentially the ability to go undefeated in the regular season. Jeff texted and he says that they're living on the edge. Certainly we're living on because they should have lost to Denver this last week with that blocked field goal, though, was kind of amazing. But it's the same idea as, look at Miami, right? Miami Hurricanes. They were living on the edge for quite a while. BYU is living on the edge right now, winning a lot of one-score games, or maybe in some cases games that you should have lost, and then eventually you're going to run out of luck, right? It's different to me with a franchise like the Chiefs. Miami doesn't know what it's like to win a championship. BYU doesn't know what it's like to win a championship. Those guys at the Chiefs, they know what it's like. They know everything it takes. Here's the thing, though. Going undefeated in the regular season has nothing to do with winning a Super Bowl. What that's about is the chance to become, you win a Super Bowl, you're legendary. If you're able to pull off what the Dolphins did, but do it with a 17-game regular season, I think it would be one of the greatest accomplishments in professional sports history, if not the greatest accomplishment in professional sports history for a single team in 1 year.
The Chiefs have the number 1 defense in the NFL, and they have the number 1 quarterback.
And he's not even played his best.
Because they don't look like they're the best team. When you see Baltimore firing all cylinders, when Detroit was fired, you kind of like, well, that looks like they have I think 58 points is their point differential. It's one of the lowest ever in the history for a team to start off the way they did.
Well, hasn't it been every single win has
but
been
that's
by
what the
one
numbers
score?
Yeah, the numbers would say you're a Virginia Cavalier basketball team. You're going to keep it low scoring, and you're going to think that our dudes are going to make the play at the end. So my money's going on Patrick Mahomes with 4 minutes to go in the game, that he's going to be able to get them either it's 6 points, 3 points, whatever. But your money's on that.
Some of the teams that they've beaten by a single score are not all that good. 7-point win over the Raiders.
And you think they're bored at all? I've heard a lot of people kind of say that, and it's like you're like, yeah, we're trying to win an NFL championship. We don't care. Like what Mike McDaniel say last year when they're like, the Miami Dolphins, this is the best offense in the history of the NFL through the first 8 weeks. And he's like, well, I guess we can just stop playing because we won. That's what we're trying to do. Obviously, that's not what they're trying to do. Same thing with the Chiefs. I think they're all the thing that matters. It's like Tiger Woods in a major. He not worried about it. He just they won another ring.
But it would still be different. Like the Tiger Slam. That's something that stands apart from any other kind of accomplishment that I've been alive for in professional golf. That's what made that Giants improbable win over the Pats just so worth celebrating.
Was that not crazy?
For me.
You still couldn't believe that play, that David Tyree play. That New York Giants was a defense. Oh my goodness.
Otherwise, that would be the greatest accomplishment in professional sports. If you can make it through an NFL season undefeated and then do the same thing in the postseason.
That team had Randy Moss on it, then they traded him the next year, like on week 4 or 5, because they weren't vibing right. But yeah, that's one of the best offenses in the history. It was. They just didn't win it.
So that's a team that was playing at the absolute top level offensively. Didn't Brady throw for over 50 touchdowns? I think he set a record that year, a record that hasn't been broken even with an extra regular season game.
Yeah, I think him and Peyton both had a couple 50 touchdown years.
So Brady was playing at his best. He had the best wide receiver that he ever played with on that team. They went undefeated regular season. Super Bowl is a different thing. Mahomes is not playing his best. They don't have necessarily the receiver that you would point to and say, yes, this right now is the best receiver in the NFL. They've had to bring in free agents and make trades.
It's their ball control because they have the most NFL drives that are 10+ plays out of every team in the NFL this year. So they're able to control the ball and time of possession, doing that, and they're stress-free innings, so to speak. They have the ball a lot.
You think of the Pats, and you had this great defensive mind in Belichick that was so good at taking away what the opponent does well. And now think of what you got with the Chiefs, a great offensive mind running things there with Andy Reid, who is able to find ways to win games when the Hall of Fame quarterback is not playing well and the Hall of Fame tight end is invisible for the first few weeks of the season. The coaches have to have a lot to do with it as well, and there's none better than Andy Reid right now. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime today. Justin says it would be the greatest season ever because it would also be a three-peat. That's a very good point. Have we had a three-peat in the NFL? Has there been an NFL three-peat for Super Bowl champions? I know the Steelers had a couple of repeats.
Cowboys did 3 and 4 years.
Cowboys had a repeat.
I think I could do them all in order if I think about it really, really hard.
It's never happened. Never 3 in a row. See, I used to be able to do that with World Series.
But no, I can't do the World Series. They started back in the 30s. It doesn't. I can't.
No, I could start from like if you gave me probably from like 1960. I would have been able to take it quite a while.
I could probably get to 90% accuracy with the Super Bowls.
Yeah,
it's hard, but I can't think of 3 in a row. There have been lots of doubles.
The three-peat is the thing that stands out from anything else. You pull it off 3 years in a row. Like the Oakland Athletics did it, the New York Yankees did it. Have we had a three-peat in the NBA recently? Michael, MJ, they did it. They had a couple of them. That's when you know that you've done something that's true. Back to back is ridiculous, but if they find a way to pull off being whether they're undefeated or not, then it becomes something no one's done before, and everybody's gunning at you. So, but I do think they'll lose this weekend against the Bills because I kind of feel that they're due for one sometime soon. 877-377-6963. If you want to get with us, we'll have Brett Dolan coming up in a moment. He'll be on the call on Touchdown Radio for the Razorbacks and the Texas Longhorns. If you got any questions for Brett, who's been in on meetings with the coaches.
Is that his second game for the Hogs this year? Did he do the Tennessee game? Or is this his first one for the Hogs?
I need to double check because I think he was at one of the games, but I know they saw Texas last week too, so they know.
Maybe that's what it was.
They know this Longhorn team really, really well. I think it was Arkansas LSU. I think.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because we had Gino on.
Exactly right. Before we leave, want to remind you about Valley Family Dental, used to be known as Riley Farm Dental. General dentistry, braces, implants, cosmetics, and also now same-day crowns. Dr. Sparkman Farmer and Dr. Blaine Van Nice making sure patients leave with a better smile, more confident, comfortable experience every time at Valley Family Dental. They're at 5901 Riley Farm Drive, Suite A, entrance to Riley Farm right off Highway 71 in Fort Smith, 226-3500, valleyfamilydentalpractice.com. Brett Dolan, Razorback Athletics, Touchdown Radio, joins us right after this.
Can you fly this plane and land it?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
This is Halftime.
National Championship Program. National Championship Coach. A match made in hog heaven.
This program, you talk about some of the best jobs in the country. In basketball, this is one of them. This fan base is so engaged. I love it.
Throws it up at the horn. It's good.
This program is the state's program.
Listen to every moment of John Calipari's first season.
Right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure to get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center, 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra. The perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come get you some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Is your roof leaking? Do you have hail or wind damage? Is it just looking old and worn out? If so, you need to call Hoghead Roofing, a family-owned and operated roofing company where the #1 customer is you. They will give you their honest opinion on whether your roof needs replaced or repaired. They have folks that have worked on the insurance side so they can assist with all claims. Licensed, insured, and ready to serve you. Call Hoghead Roofing today at 479-522-0840. God bless.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. I've been for a
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, headed right to the hotline. Brett Dolan on the call for Arkansas, Texas on Touchdown Radio. Of course, he was on the call for LSU at Arkansas earlier this year. In the second week in a row, he gets to see the Longhorns. Brett, how you doing today?
Well, good. Hey, guys, I was listening earlier. I will say I'm green with envy with Bob Holt's audio lead-in to his segment, and I'm hoping you guys got to the bottom of the Bucky's business model that you were discussing yesterday on halftime, too. You know, I'm a listener as well as an occasional guest.
I'm just bummed out that there's not going to be Come and Go any longer. That's what the whole point of that was about. I'm just very upset about this. And
Great point.
I just think the Maverick people need to think a little bit differently about how they market things. But I'm glad to know you're listening, and I'll try to put a little open together for you. But you'll be on the call tonight too, right? You got basketball at Bud Walton Arena, Arkansas women's hoops against Texas Arlington. So it's a pretty busy weekend for you. It's a good thing you don't have to leave Fayetteville, but that means no airline points.
Yes, it does help. Last week was 5 games and 4 flights, and this week is only 4 games, but they're in 4 straight days. So we just finished up the UT Arlington coaches visit, and couple of soccer calls today for a NCAA soccer match tomorrow, and then football on Saturday. It doesn't stop.
Right, we got NCAA soccer tomorrow. All right, so you saw Texas last week. Things got out of hand pretty quickly. Florida just too banged up to really be able to compete in that ball game. Is Texas playing at their best right now, just like Ole Miss was when they came in?
Pretty close. They're interesting on offense. They don't run the football like some of the great teams do. They use their screen game and their swing passes like running plays. Really efficient, really fast. Sark at times, I think, is dynamic play calling. And Arkansas is going to have their hands full considering how they were challenged defensively, against Ole Miss and LSU. Those teams picked them apart in two different manners. And they better be ready for the screen game, and they better be ready for a lot of misdirection.
Is this kind of a game where if Texas, if you're Arkansas, you're kind of hoping that maybe Texas isn't as focused? Maybe they're not really kind of coming here to I don't know, because they're 20-year-old kids. To me, that's the only way Arkansas has a chance is Texas is going to have to play like a C- type of game, and the Hogs are going to have to play an A+ game.
I think it's a good point, Matt. I think it's something we've seen throughout this year, and I don't know if it's necessarily letdowns or it's more that it's difficult at times to play well every single week. The one thing Sark did last week coming off a bye is they're really the first team I've seen in the SEC that's played well for whatever reason coming off a bye, and he was very direct. He didn't want the bye week to bleed into game week from an intensity standpoint. Now, to your point, I think there's a lot of conversation in Texas about that game against the Aggies coming up the week of Thanksgiving. And will they start looking ahead because the schedule is somewhat soft until that point? Or will Sark be able to do what Sam has done and kind of educate his team on the rivalry, because it gets overlooked for these 18 to 22-year-old kids that this used to have a great meaning for a lot of people in both of these states. So that's the challenge, I think, for every team, just getting to the point in the SEC where you don't mail it in or don't put forth a bad performance when these games really count. Because quite honestly, it's weird for you and me and probably all of us to see 4 or 5 Big Ten teams right there at the top of the rankings with only Texas as the top SEC team right now.
Which one of these the Big Ten teams have you seen? I know you saw Penn State. You saw Ohio State too. Anyone else?
No, and I watched Indiana. I made a point to sit down, Phil, and watch your Hoosiers for the full game against Michigan. It was somewhat underwhelming. They didn't have the offensive game that they have had previous with their uniqueness and their high-scoring offense, but they got a win. So they're in a pretty good spot. And the fact that Penn State right now is in a position where they could be in the top 4, albeit not a conference champion, and they wouldn't be in the top 4 when the seedings came out if they ran the table, is a little bit odd, because I don't think they're worthy of that. But, the funny part was when they put this top 4 buys in, I wasn't a big fan of it. I didn't want to see a Big 12 team or an ACC team, if they weren't good, get a bye. But I think, in essence, by doing that, it keeps a Penn State from being able to be in the top 4 when they're not worthy of being in the top 4. So, there's still a lot of maneuverings to take place over these next few weeks to kind of see how this shakes out with the 12 teams. But my goodness, the SEC better not keep cannibalizing itself, or the Big Ten is going to have a lot better opportunities. And when you're seated higher, that means you host those games in December. And I don't want to go play in Happy Valley on December 21st with it snowing and cold if I could help it, if I was Alabama or a Southern team.
Well, we had Tennessee. Arkansas was able to get by them at home, and then everybody kind of jumped off that, they struggled. But Tennessee, all they've done since that loss is win. They're 8-1, headed into Athens 7-2. Feels like an elimination game. I mean, maybe Georgia could still get in with 3 losses. I don't know. How do you give Tennessee a chance going in between the hedges?
I do, and again, I think they've kind of figured out that they can win without clicking on all cylinders. They don't have to score 40 points to win with a pretty decent defense. It's obvious to me that Nico, while having a lot of talent, he will miss some shots. He'll miss some deep balls, and they do have a really good running game, though, with Sampson, which I think gives them a chance to win these 24-21 type games. I'm with you. I don't know what 3 losses does for some of these SEC teams, Georgia or whatnot. I think there'll be some 3-loss SEC teams, to me, that'll be better talented teams than 1-loss Big 12 teams, or maybe 2-loss Big 12 teams. but that's a tough call to make the committee choose you over a team that's only lost 1 or 2 games. So you're right about the intensity of some of these matchups in the SEC going forward, because whether they're true elimination games or whether they just put teams in spots where they're going to need so much help that they no longer control anything regarding their fate heading towards December.
Well, I mean, just look at where the Big Ten teams are ranked right here. Penn State and Indiana, they're not going to be conference champions in all likelihood, but they're going to get home games. They will get home games because of where they're ranked right now, unless either of those teams loses to Purdue, and they both play Purdue, and if they do lose to Purdue, they shouldn't be able to make the playoff. But they'll have home games in the situation where you're going to end up where, like, Ole Miss is probably going on the road. Alabama is probably going on the road. They may end up, those two teams, at Bloomington and State College, and it's like you got Penn State, their best win is Illinois. That's going to be their best win this year. Indiana's best win is Michigan, probably going to be their best win of the year. Alabama's got 4 wins that are better than any of those, and two losses to teams that are in the top 25. And it's just like some of these, you got to weight the losses, and I don't know if they are.
1,000%. And I'm with you. I don't know how that's going to play out. I think you start looking at the quality of losses and the quality of wins. And when you look at Indiana and Penn State, it takes on an entirely different dimension. I would say when Indiana plays Ohio State, they'd be best served to play that game competitively and not lose by 21 or 28, because I think that gives the committee the recency bias. But I'm with you. Alabama's had some befuddling games, but their wins are as good as any team's wins, considering how hard it is to go on the road and not just win, but dominate some teams and take care of business. So it would be a shame for them not to have a good seed. But regardless, it does look like, Phil, and you're right, that there's going to be home games in Happy Valley and maybe Bloomington, Indiana, and then we're going to find out how guys that have grown up in the South enjoy playing when it's windy and it's cold, and you've got to be able to run the football, and games do not look like they do in September and October if the weather comes into play. I don't know if that'll make for great television and great theater, or whether it's going to muck it up, and teams like Penn State and Indiana will have a great shot of winning games that maybe they wouldn't were it in a dome or a neutral, warmer weather environment.
Brett, SMU, Boise State, which one of those teams, both of them maybe, which one of those do you think has the better chance to make this playoff 12?
Probably Boise. And I keep going back to a game earlier this year. They should have beaten Oregon. And maybe Oregon wasn't clicking on all cylinders. I think Oregon had a kick return for a touchdown. There was another impactful special teams play. And they still gave that a pretty good go as far as winning at Oregon. I guess when you look at quality of losses, that's another case there. I think they've beaten UNLV already, and I don't know if they'd line up again with them for the conference championship game. I think they're in. Now, whether or not they're an 11 or 12 seed, that's probably going to be the situation. So I would probably lean towards them, but I do feel like there's a couple of wild cards that none of us are thinking about, and I can't tell you what that might look like. Whether an Army could get in into the group of
Colorado
5.
runs the table, yeah.
Colorado, absolutely. There was a team that I kind of gave up on in the first month, and a Hail Mary turned their season around. They were heading in a bad direction before they got a Hail Mary to beat Baylor, and it's given them a chance now where they do control their fate in the Big 12 that I'm convinced is not as good. BYU has had some terrible finishes that they've won games that they probably shouldn't have won, but credit to them, they've continued to do so.
Right now with college football, the way that it is, even with a playoff 12, it makes less sense to me than it did with 4. The sport makes no sense to me at the moment, Brett, and I'm perfectly okay with that.
But it doesn't make sense. And I've said time and time again, I was not a big fan of the 12-team playoff. It's kind of warming on me because, and I don't think the NCAA did this by design unless maybe Greg Sankey was the one guy who knew it, that we're truly in this portal era now where it's hard to maintain culture and chemistry, and teams no longer have the same ability to play well for 11 or 12 weeks. There's more of an NFL scheduling where you're going to have a couple of weeks where you don't play well because you don't have the continuity and the culture, and it means the SEC is no longer going to have 12-0 or 11-1 teams where they can get more teams in the 12-team playoff because they no longer have to be in the top 4. I don't know if that was done by design at all. I think it just happened in the luck. It's made for pretty good theater for us because all of a sudden now we're talking about more teams I think there's fewer good teams, but you're right. There's an unpredictability around this sport that, quite honestly, we just haven't had for maybe decades.
All right, soccer tomorrow. It's the first round of the NCAA tournament for Arkansas. They'll play Oklahoma State. I mean, it's another year with a really good regular season. Maybe a little earlier out in the conference tournament than we're used to. Hoping to get to that College Cup for the first time. Tell me what you think of tomorrow's matchup.
Well, it's a really unfortunate matchup. I think both coaches have indicated this is really not fair. I mean, Oklahoma State was on the verge of hosting. Arkansas, with maybe another win or two in the conference tournament, would have been a 1 seed instead of a 2. This basically feels like two teams that should be meeting in the Sweet 16, meeting in the first round. So, if Arkansas gets by this team who's had 12 shutouts this year, well, Arkansas is by far the highest scoring soccer team in the country. The Hawks could roll for a while, and they could be back in a position in the Elite Eight again, going on the road, trying to finally get to a College Cup. But the fact that these two teams are meeting, it wouldn't happen in very many sports. It wouldn't happen in basketball, it wouldn't happen in baseball, and it probably wouldn't happen in softball. But whether it's saving some money on regional rivalries, it's a little bit unfair. But it should make for maybe the best first-round matchup in college soccer tomorrow night.
So you got basketball tonight, soccer tomorrow, football Saturday. Man, Brett, you're pulling a nice little trifecta in 3 days.
Yeah, then we got a basketball game on Monday, and then I can rest for a little bit before my L.A. to Cancun to Oregon road trip over Thanksgiving. But it's been a little crazy, I will admit. We both you and I love to be busy and have a lot of games, but it might be too much this week.
Might have to have a special day just for play-by-play guys. I heard you give the sports information directors their shout-outs yesterday, and everybody else across the country did. It was SID Day across the country, but they never do that for the play-by-play guy.
We need a day. We need a week for that matter.
I think we get 365 days, if you just ask me. Brett, appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on. See you tonight.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Thanks, Brett.
Brett Dolan, he'll be on the call for Arkansas UTA tonight. Tomorrow, soccer, Razorbacks, Oklahoma State, and then on the Touchdown Radio call with Arkansas and Texas on Saturday. Don't forget, don't beat hunting season in the natural state. Get your license, huntnatural.com. Your Arkansas hunting license is your license to friendship, family, and fun. Make sure you keep the state's tradition alive. That license is available for purchase at huntnatural.com. Into the home stretch of halftime, you can call us or text us at 877-377-6963, and we are right back.
Last issue, Chaz Michaels is figure skating.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
It's that time of year, jackpot season. Play the new $1 Million Jackpot Scratch-Off ticket from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. You might just, win one. It's the biggest instant prize of the year, and that's just the icing on the cake. There's more than $50 million in prizes out there waiting for a winner. Be that winner. Try the new $1 Million Jackpot ticket in stores now at a lottery retailer near you. Happy jackpot season. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
You're a man with a plan.
I know.
You'll propose to her on that family trip in front of everyone. Brilliant.
I know.
You know the trip is only a month away.
But I don't have a ring.
Luckily, there's GageDiamonds.com with engagement rings in every style for every budget with certified natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, and moissanite.
Can I finance it?
Gage lets you buy the ring today and pay for it over time with our no credit needed financing.
Brilliant.
Yes, we are. GageDiamonds.com. We're engagements. Middle name.
Exclusions apply. You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp. Refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flooding the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
From the mortar, they saved you from faraway labors. Eternity means nothing but a sign on a bridge when everyone's a stranger. They call for you by your first name and laugh at jokes you once made when you were a kid.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Women's basketball game tonight, Bud Walton Arena, 7 o'clock, taking on Texas Arlington, a team that comes in 1-2. Razorbacks coming in with a 2-1 record, and said, all the talk about the signing for the men's team with Darius Acuff and Malik Thomas. The signing class for the Razorbacks continues to be a highly international affair, just like this year's team has players from 7 different countries. There are 3 different countries that are represented in the incoming class, just the incoming class right now. And let's see, we got, and by the way, it's a 6:30. It would be a good thing if I know what time my game tips off tonight, right? I'll show up at the right time. I've been starting the women's games about half an hour earlier. So you have a gal from Australia, from Melbourne, Australia, Bonnie Dees. You have
she might know that last band that just played. Yeah,
Daniel, who was that?
That was Daniel Johns and Paul Mack. They're an Australian group. You remember the band Silverchair, right?
Of course,
that's the lead singer from
I always like to know those things. Aisha Salem Hassan, who is from Alexandria, Egypt.
Oh, she might know Mohammed Salah. That's the best Egyptian football player in the world right now.
He's Lebanese.
No, most laws Egypt.
Oh, all right, different side. So, and then there is a girl from Cleveland, Tennessee, Hermione Ware. So, that would mean that if everybody from this year's team that still has eligibility stays, you could end up with, because there's 2 more countries representing here. We do not have any Australians or Egyptians on the current team. You could end up with 9 countries represented on the Arkansas women's basketball team next year.
Rayon. Everybody knows Rayon from Australia.
Raygun.
Raygun. Yeah.
She retired. Maybe she's got some basketball eligibility. I don't remember how tall she was, but she certainly was pretty good at flopping. She could draw some fouls.
Yeah.
I'm guaranteeing you she could draw some fouls. If she could shoot 68%, 72% from the foul line, maybe it'd be worth it. And she's already got her doctorate, so it's she's a graduate. She can just come right in and start playing. 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts or anything about that you want. And I'm really just happy that basketball season has started because, that means Uncrustables are available. Now, they're not always, I'm not around the basketball team as much as I am around baseball. But those who've listened to Halftime for these last 6 years well know that when it comes to a pregame snack, it really isn't much better than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the Uncrustables, of course, come already made for you. Baseball's got them, and Bubba and I will have one of those before a game. And if they win, well, we're going to keep doing that until they lose. The basketball team has them too. And did you see about how many some of these NFL teams, how so many of the NFL teams, how many Uncrustables they go through on a weekly basis? Apparently, the Denver Broncos go through 700 of them a week.
So that's a good right. But dude, I'm telling you, one of these left tackles that I played with in Jacksonville, and it was during camp, and about 5 or 6 of us were going to go get something to eat at lunch, type of lunch thing. We all go to Firehouse and get foot-long subs. 2 of the offensive linemen went back and got another foot-long sub. They ate 2 foot-long subs just at one setting for lunch.
And then there was another meal later on that night, which was probably larger than lunch.
Oh, my goodness, those dudes. That's why you see a lot of these offensive linemen, they lose 100 pounds when they get done playing because it's, just the consumption.
Well, all they got to do in some cases, if it comes to an Uncrustable, is just make sure you they come in a 12-pack, just open up all of them, unwrap them all, throw them in a bucket, and you can just throw them all down your throat.
Is it still grape only? Do they do a peach?
They do strawberry too.
Okay.
They even do some dessert versions of them with like peanut butter and chocolate in the middle. Yeah. Does that look gross? Like you've got a little smirk, and you don't think that sounds good?
That seems too sweet. It's more like that seems more like a candy, peanut butter and chocolate together. I wouldn't want that as like a sandwich. Do you prefer the strawberry or the grape dough? Because I have a specific preference.
Whichever one you got around is fine.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have like you don't draw the line in the sand between strawberry or grape when it comes to any type of jelly, or just the Uncrustables?
Sometimes it's a matter of how much of the jelly do I want to be squeezed out through the sandwich.
That's true.
Because grape jelly, if you got a good strawberry jelly and it's not a jelly, it's a preserve, then it's going to hold in the sandwich a little bit better because it's got those thick strawberries in there. Grape jelly doesn't have any preserves.
No
one's doing that there, so it's all going to come out. So I'm going strawberry. I talked myself into it.
Wow. I'm grape all the way.
Way too many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in 2 versions of my life. Some of them came together. Working in minor league baseball before the players finally started to make some money and the teams were shamed into sending like chefs on the road with some of these teams, they basically subsisted on peanut butter and jelly, bananas, and the occasional ramen noodle soup. It was like they were unemployed actors that were playing minor league baseball. I don't know how much peanut butter and jelly they have in them anymore.
A good bowl of pho, that I can get down with that.
Bah.
There you go.
That's what Gabe asked for last night. I was like, I can't do that tonight. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on Halftime. Brandon says Indiana and Penn State would probably have 2 to 3 losses with an SEC schedule, and maybe even Ohio State with an SEC schedule, unless they have the schedule Texas had. We make that assumption about it. I don't know if do we know that about Indiana, or is that just an assumption because it's Indiana and they haven't
Texas
played anybody?
Texas didn't have to play LSU. They didn't have to play Alabama. Oh my God! Yeah, that is.
Oh, when you look at some of the games that you would want to have,
They had to play Georgia, and Georgia smoked them. That's the only team really that Texas has played that's any good. Whoa, that's an easy schedule. Right
Indiana's not
I mean,
played
that's-
anybody that's any good. Penn State's not played anybody.
Arkansas
that's
could have
any
won
good.
9 games if we had Texas's schedule.
You think so? Let me go through. 9 wins. with
We'd
this
be
schedule.
4-1 at worst in our first 5.
You already beat Mississippi State. Would you beat Oklahoma? That's a neutral site game. Who knows where it's being played? Let's say it's played at Arkansas. You win that game. Georgia at home. That's going to be a tough one. Vandy on the road. Tough one. Winnable. Florida at home. Win. Well, then you play yourself.
Win.
Can't really. Yeah,
Win,
they can
win.
beat themselves. Sure, absolutely. Kentucky and A&M. Beat Kentucky.
Yeah, probably 8. That's a 8-win season.
And you realize you get the same schedule next year. You have everybody in the league plays the same teams next year. It's just in the other stadium.
Oh my goodness. Who do we have instead of Oklahoma State? Is it Notre Dame?
No, I think Oklahoma State. No, you're right. It is. It's Notre Dame coming into Razorback Stadium next year. So
That's
the
a
schedule
team
gets
that's
tougher,
kinda-
Matt. Huh? How about that?
Well, that's a team that, Clemson, we kind of, threw away. Colorado, we kind of threw away. Notre Dame kind of got thrown away. You see, all they've done is continue to win. Their loss is a really bad loss, but they only have one.
Their collection of wins is better than every set of wins in the Big Ten except for Oregon, beating Ohio State and beating Boise. Notre Dame has beaten A&M, Navy, and Louisville. Navy's a good team. Louisville is good. I mean, they're ranked. They're in the top 25, the actual poll that matters. And win over A&M, which is a really good win. I mean, that's to me, that's better than any set of victories that a Big Ten team has. But then they also have a loss that's worse than any of those Big Ten teams. And it's still no guarantee that Notre Dame is going to get in. I mean, they do have to win out, and
If they win out, they're in.
Yeah.
I always think a 10-2 Notre Dame team would get in. I think a 10-2 team in the SEC, I think they'll get in, and maybe we'll find out. It'd be very interesting. Missouri runs the table and wins their last 3 games. Is that it'd be very interesting to see, because I just think any team in the SEC, that's why you play in the SEC. If you go 10-2, you're going to make it.
You know what it would be now? It would be, well, I guess it wouldn't be Notre Dame against Miami, because Miami is considered, because they're the
They'd get
highest
a bye,
ranked
huh?
team, they would
Yeah.
get a bye. So then it would be Notre Dame and Alabama, I think.
What about Boise and Alabama? That's
What if it was the Crimson Tide playing on that blue field in Boise?
but that's their coach's old stomping ground. Isn't he from that area over there?
Well,
I thought he was at UW.
I don't know
That's
where he's
close.
from, but I know he's a Northwest guy, or at
That's
least a
what I
West
mean.
Coast guy.
Yeah.
Boise's close enough, I guess you could say. 877-377-6963 if there are any thoughts about this. Jody said he didn't think Wilford Brimley would approve on the peanut butter and chocolate, and I'm still not quite sure what it is that he means by that. That has something to do with is it the diabetes thing, or is it something from Cocoon? But hey, I'm all for peanut butter and chocolate. I could put that in one bowl and go to town. You can also go to town over at Crabtree RV Center if you're looking for a great deal on an RV for you and your family. There is an RV on the lot at Crabtree that fits exactly what you're looking for. You find them at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma, right beside the Cracker Barrel, and online at crabtreerv.com. Quick break. Back to wrap up the show in just a moment.
McLovin? What kind of a stupid name is that, Fogel? What are you trying to be, an Irish R&B singer?
This is halftime.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
At Arvest Bank, we believe in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with and supporting those who serve our communities. From the ones who are making a difference in big and small ways every day, to those who are helping create better tomorrows. We appreciate everything you do, and we're proud to work alongside you. Because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Catch your wife kissing Santa Claus, whose real name is Bobby from down the street? Want to know your rights in a divorce, custody, child support case? I'm Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Call me today to discuss your options. Start the new year off with a new lease on life for you, and let Santa have her. Mock Legal Solutions, 479-769-1505. Real advice, reasonable price.
It's Ty Richardson. We are live at Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, and thank God for Gail Rainwater. Gail, I've got my sister's wedding. She's approved one of the suits you picked out for me. Man, I really appreciate all you've done for me these last couple of years because I've been to like 40 some odd weddings.
Glad that she approved it. We always get you looking sharp. I know you get a lot of compliments on everything. We appreciate it.
When you stop by, make sure to tell Gail and his staff that Ty sent you.
Rainwater's Men's Clothing and Tuxedo Rental, where it's fun to look good.
Looking to boost your health and feel your best? Elite Wellness and Aesthetics in Fort Smith is here to help. Starting at only $200 a month, semaglutide and tirzepatide are weight loss shots that can kickstart your journey to a healthier, more confident you. And with Elite's hormone therapy treatments, you can restore balance, energy, and vitality. Take control of your health today with Elite Wellness and Aesthetics. 479-242-9355 to schedule your appointment or visit FortSmithElite.com. Elite Wellness and Aesthetics, getting to know you inside and out.
It's the Christmas open house with a big 2-day sale at the Solid Rock. Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd. Enjoy the festive Christmas atmosphere and enjoy savings throughout the store. Select Caruso shirts for $12, women's devotionals for less than $8, and brand new personalized jewelry. Tons of door prizes and sales, and traditional wassail will be served. Come kick off the Christmas season at the Solid Rock. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th in Fort Smith, the Solid Rock, serving the River Valley for over 48 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3. In my days with a woman unkind, smoked my stuff and drank all the wine. Made up my mind to make a new start. Going to California with an weekend in my heart. Someone told me there's a girl out there with love in her eyes and flowers in her hair.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elton and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Apologies, guys, for being out tomorrow. We got like a 7 o'clock flight headed to Los Angeles because I am a Los Angeles guy, Matt, right? I define
I think Beck, I think Phil Elson, Dwight Yoakam,
Leo DiCaprio,
Perry Farrell. Yeah, I mean, just your name's right there with all those.
Tarantino.
There's a LA guy.
There you go. Well,
you got to say it in your John Gruden voice. This guy, I like this guy.
So he's going to be working at Barstool now. He got back on a platform. Makes sense. That I guess that's. I've always been a fan. He's fun to listen to.
He's a music dude because I was at the.
You mean he likes music?
It was weird when somebody says they like music. You're like, whoa, easy. But we were at Senior Bowl down there in Mobile. He was the coach. Kyle Shanahan was one of the coaches too. Sit there and watch film with them. But that was the first thing Gruden started talking about with me was about music.
I think I might have a chance to hang out with our boy who doesn't like music in L.A. Aaron Torres is a real LA guy.
You got to give him a kiss for me.
Where? Specifically, just kind of like blow him a kiss.
Just give him some.
I'll give him a knuckle. Yeah,
that's the same concept.
Should be fun. Should be a good time to see him. So I won't be able to talk about the Tyson Paul spectacle with you guys tomorrow. I don't even want to call it a fight anymore. Have you read about what this spectacle is? What it is? I mean, it's a professional fight, but the only reason it's a professional fight is because it's being sanctioned in Texas, and I don't think there's another state that would sanction this for a 59-year-old man to be fighting. 8 rounds, 2-minute rounds, 14-ounce gloves.
I think Jake Paul has to make it through the first 2 rounds. I think if Tyson, if you can make it through those first couple rounds and see how it's going, then he might have a chance. But if Tyson, Tyson's probably still got a little something in there.
I just wouldn't be able to do it for that extra minute in 3 minutes. That's why they're taking it down to 2. This is one of those things I'm going to watch because I don't think I can pull my eyes off of it. It'll be sometime Friday afternoon in Pacific time. But
the match is Friday?
It's Friday night. Absolutely. Yeah.
Tomorrow, as in Friday tomorrow?
Tomorrow night on Netflix.
There we go. Yeah.
Well, you can have my login. Well,
then
I don't blame you if you don't want to watch this. I really don't.
I know.
But I hate that this is going to end up being maybe the most watched fight of all time because it's not even a real fight. This is going to be.
Remember Floyd fought. Who did he fight one of his last fights, and they were like, "That's not even a real fight."
Was it Roy Jones? Did they do an exhibition of that?
But I mean, like one of his. Oh, he fought Conor McGregor. They got that sanctioned as a real boxing fight, and you're like, if you want to do some MMA, yeah, but you can't box. You can't box with Floyd.
It's more celebrity. This is about the celebrity attached
it's the marquee, to it. The names on the marquee.
Well, you actually have like world championship fights that are on the undercard. Think about that. And none of them are. How can you have world championship fights on the undercard of literally a spectacle, which is what everybody that is at the stadium Friday night is going to see.
It's like you got the Eagles opening for Morgan Wallen.
That would be a spectacle too. Very well said. Good way to end the show today. All right, I'm not on tomorrow. I'm back with you on Monday. You'll have Matt Jones. You'll have C45. You'll have Christian Johnston. And you'll have the usual Friday Gang characters. And that's when they will talk to you next. Make sure you download the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast as everything that you might have missed today. Conversations with Bob Holt and Brett Dolan. And Ruskin and Zach are coming up in just a couple of moments. So that's it. For Christian, for C-Huminated Caffeine, and for Matt Jones, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. Get up, get out, and get better.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
At AOG, our main goal is to deliver reliable energy to your home safely, and keeping our team members, customers, and community safe starts with awareness. Natural gas has a distinctive, strong odor, often compared to rotten eggs or sulfur. If you smell gas, leave your home immediately. Go to a safe location and call 911 in addition to AOG. Remember, if you smell gas, act fast and always call 811 before you dig. To learn more about natural gas safety, visit AOGC.com. AOG, energy for life.